me, it's a great opener. You know, you're always nervous the first one. I remember David Park, and one thing he used to talk about is get on the board early, get some momentum. So it'll be a fierce contest, and I think both teams know each other pretty well. I think it's going to be a great opener for us and them.
Ross's team's a great team. They're going to be an incredibly difficult challenge for us over there. We know that. One that we look forward to. As you said, we've been there, you know, it'll be the third time in 5 games. We've won one, lost one, and we're going there to hopefully get our noses in front.
For us to start the year over there against a really quality opposition, you know, what better way to start the year and see, you know, where we're at, and you know, we're going to be faced with a big challenge, but you know, we've got to embrace it.
They've got a really quality midfield that we know we're going to have to be at our best to get on top of, but we're really looking forward to the challenge.
They pride themselves on defence, which is what we're really going after, and we want to try knock them off as the #1 defensive team.
Their defence is one of the best in AFL. Coming first round, you don't know what to expect from a new team.
They're right up there with the premiership threats this year, so it'll go a long way to giving either side confidence depending on the result.
The two biggest challenges to Hawthorn's current reign, Port Adelaide and Fremantle head-to-head at Domain Stadium in Perth for the match of the round. And we're about to head down Quality Street with this one. Brad Johnson, one of the top 10 game players of all time, Jono. We've been looking forward to this one.
This is going to be an absolute beauty. The last 3 times they've played average margin of 16 points. They've been absolute belters. Expect the same today.
Let's have a look at those lineups as we are about to see the Fremantle side come out of the race through a giant purple haze as part of their pre-game routine. So looking forward to that. Matthew Pavlich having a chat. And they are the big threat to Hawthorn from a couple of years ago. Unluckily went down in that grand final. And Port Adelaide last year, just 1 kick away from Hawthorn. These are the 2 big contenders. I know Sydney will press their chances as well this year, but these are the big 2.
You got to love that, don't you? Through the purple haze, out they come. Had Melbourne yesterday to hell's bells. They hit the ground running. I wonder if Fremantle Dockers can do the same. Out they come out on the ground through that purple haze as we just mentioned.
Fantastic scenes here. It's a full house, as you would expect. Everybody knows it's kind of now or never for Fremantle. You guys have talked about it a bit pre-game, but this has to be the year. You can't have an era where you're at the top for so long and not top it off with a flag. It doesn't end well. You don't remember it well. They want to remember this era well.
Well, I've been through that twice. Yes. Don't worry about that with the prelims that we certainly made and didn't make it. That's the same with Fremantle. Had their chance in a grand final as well. But you look across their lineup, it is very experienced. Look at that centre line. McFarlane, Johnson, Fife. Chris Mayne puts the pressure on. Matty Pavlich has had a great summer as a forward. Ballantyne back in after the calf injury as well. Port Adelaide, Angus Monfries will start as the sub. Paddy Ryder in for his first game in Port Adelaide colours. I like the wings. You can add Matty White in there on a half-forward flank as well with Kane Corns, who will do 15 to 20 Ks again like he always does in a game. Pollock on the other side with his speed and use on that left foot.
And Lobie is the massive out for Port Adelaide, isn't he?
He is a huge out, and John Butcher comes in, will play at full forward. They'll try and stretch Fremantle a little bit if they can.
Well, you and I missed out on flags, but one man who was good enough to win himself 2, David King, he's downstairs with the Brownlow medalist, Gerard Healy.
Good on you, Dwayne, and as much as this game will be decided by work rate, we love talking about the stars, and star power doesn't get any bigger than Fife the Knife.
Nat Fife, Gerard, he's an amazing player. The preeminent midfielder in the competition. He's fairly and squarely got Gary Ablett in his sights. Yep. He's having a close look at that shoulder, I'm going to show you, over the first month of football. But he's unbeatable one-on-one. You can just see there the AFL average for midfielders one-on-one is just under 30%. He's close to 40, 10% better than the next best player. He's a contested marking machine, the best overhead mark in the midfield via Champion Data stats. And when he goes inside that forward 50, he outmarks his opponent 80% of the time. So that is a frightening number. So how do you use him? That's the key.
Well, I think the combination is clearly midfield going forward, and let's hope he takes some absolute hangers today. He's got that incredible vertical leap. But I think one player that has astounded the competition is Ollie Wines, who just keeps getting better.
He'll probably be the best player in the 2012 draft, Jared, which will be some sort of draft. Pick number 7. He's only played the 49 games. You got a leaner version of him this year, Jared. This is him in that final. He turned this game on its head in the second half. He became a contested ball machine in the middle of the ground. He kicked 3 goals in the second half to get his team over the line. He's the closest thing we've seen to Chris Judd in his first 50 games of any other player to enter the game in the last 4 or 5 years.
Pretty fair player to be compared with. They've got an enormous midfield, have Port Adelaide.
They have head-to-head. This will be something to watch today.
Time for a break here from Domain Stadium. It's Freo versus Port, opening bounce on the other side.
Full house at Domain Stadium in Perth. Fremantle and Port Adelaide. 3rd versus 6th from last year, or 4th versus 5th, depending on whether you go at the end of the home and away season or the finals, of course. Travis Boak and Matthew Pavlich, 2 of the greats of the game now, the 2 captains for the toss of the coin. Matthew Pavlich, 16th season for Matthew Pavlich in 2015, turns 34 at the end of the year, but he still played 22 games last year. He is fit again for 2015. And of course, Travis Boak, equal 4th in the Brownlow last year, All-Australian the past 2 seasons. He is quality, Travis Boak, and the 2 will get together and toss the coin here. There is a bit of a breeze. David King will keep us up to date with that shortly.
That is a head. Yeah, it's a head.
And Travis Boak wins the toss as we head downstairs to the 2-time premiership star, David King.
Thanks, Wayne. They will kick with a slight breeze, Port Adelaide, probably 1 goal to 2 goal breeze in the first quarter. But one thing we do know, to stay at the top of the tree in the AFL system at the moment, you need to improve year on year. Port Adelaide and Hawthorn have challenged the competition to increase their running powers. Let's have a listen to Ross Lyon on his pre-season assessment of the Fremantle Football Club.
We know the work we've done. We've done 40%. We know the percentages. 40% more football and running work, which is massive. It's not guesswork. It's data dominated. We know we're ready.
Well, they're ready. They have to be ready, because it happens right now. And all clubs, Jared, they do improve over that summer. It's the percentage gain that is critical. The top-end teams are looking for more so a minimal gain than what some of the lower sides are.
But that's just not a slight increase. That's a major increase in running power, 40% over a summer period. They know the challenges in front of them. Half of them, those challenges are directed to the likes of Pavlich, older players who are coming to the end. They need the engine to get that final extra piston to get them through the challenges of a season, to have one final crack at the big reward.
Clancy Pearce, Lee Spur, Cameron Sutcliffe, they're the ones that need to take their game, their fitness levels to the next level. Mac DeBoer's a good runner. Nick Subin needs to stay injury-free. That's what allows you as a player to increase those levels.
He's a massive man, Aaron Sandlands. He's had a big footprint on this competition. Paddy Ryder knows the challenge. Has had limited preparation, no practice matches. He'll be expected to go forward and play his role. Westhoff will come in, you'd expect, as the backup ruckman. John Butcher could do a little bit of that. But up against a man Mountain, it is very much going to be look at his palm and look where that ball is going to be directed. Port Adelaide essentially will be rucking to him as well.
So Paddy Ryder wearing the number 4 in the middle. His first game for Port Adelaide after 170 with the Essendon Football Club, up against the number 1 ruckman in the competition. Number 1 again last year for hit-outs, All-Australian. Sandlands wins first up. Paddy Ryder almost his first touch, and there's a free kick being found. It's going to Robbie Gray.
Scragged off the ball, and out they go. As you told us many times, Wayne, last year, just widening up the ground.
Corns. Wines. Wingard starting on the bench, by the way, for Port fans, and Lobe not playing. Late withdrawal. We think it might be a quad problem.
Sandlands has pushed deep. Ryder tried to get the ball up around the middle of the ground. Sandlands has gone as that spare for Fremantle.
Butcher to Schultz. Butcher kept it alive. And Schultz from the pocket.
The forward structure of the Dockers has had a lot of focus. And Zach Clark, who we just saw squeeze on the bottom of the screen there, he's a major component of whether or not they can go the next step, whether he can stand tall, take some marks.
5 almost. Robbie Gray bangs it long. Butcher will have to go. He's got 3 to beat. Hits the deck. Free kick.
Just look,
Fremantle ball.
Just looking at the other end of the ground, lads. A couple of big matchups, and they're only small men. Hayden Ballantyne has Impey as his matchup, and Walters has Pittard, and they will be critical to Fremantle and Port's success tonight.
Fife, second most votes in the Brownlow last year, favourite to win it this year. Walters comes up to get one at half-back just to get his touch on the leather. And stolen by Subin. That's almost a mark. Wasn't paid. Hill puts the Jets on. Misses Pearce with a handball attempt. Sheridan flicks it up. Pearce caught, rolls it. Doesn't. Didn't get it all the way. Tringove winds. Great.
They're going again, Port Adelaide, every opportunity. That's the way they play. Run and gun, handball received, get it moving.
Fremantle ready for that. McFarlane got in the way.
We've already seen a couple of turnovers. Pressure, skills under pressure failing.
Sandlin's back to Pearce. Ex-Port Adelaide player, of course, fighting hard. Hasn't missed a game since joining Fremantle. Great. Sidestep was beautiful. Handball just as good. Corns, he's got Butcher in the gun, and he fired it beautifully.
Well, Robbie Gray's had plenty of it. I think he's playing wide of Nat Fyfe at this stage. Jono Fife's already had a couple of possessions, so we've got two of the best midfielders going head-to-head, but essentially ultra-attacking at the moment.
Well, exactly right. Robbie Gray's work, also with his teammates around the contest at the moment, has been very, very good. The outnumber from Port Adelaide's point of view has been excellent. Allows Johnny Butcher to have his first opportunity this afternoon.
So he's in for Matthew Lobby. He was an emergency. What kind of kicking are we going to get from Butcher today? He loves it. He squeezed that in.
It's a good start, great start from Port Adelaide. In fact, with their work around the contest, as we mentioned, you can just see the outnumber around the contest after this ball hits the deck. Fremantle look like they're going to be away. Off they go, handballs through the middle of the ground. Good work from there, but then they just get closed up, and that's where Port Adelaide are able to create numbers around it. Pearce is one. Another player comes in to help out there in Sheridan, V5. And this is the result. Easy inside 50.
Kicked 32 goals for the Port Magpies last year. John Butcher has had a couple of seasons where his kicking's been fantastic early on and a couple of seasons late where it hasn't been. Mundy. Clancy Pearce. Walter stands under it. Can he get near it? Pittard got a fist on it. And first to pounce, or bumped on the kick to the back as well.
Barlow was there for the receive, but Walters had the goals in his nostrils.
Pittard to Boak.
Hold, Jack, hold! Okay.
Pittard. Tringove.
Play on. You.
That's a spear.
And
Corns has marked it on the line.
Well, it's an area of his game he needed to improve, and he's got a hell of a lot more confidence in his game. If you're picking out a kick like that and delivering it, that's magnificent. This is the aggressive kick in footy that has to be hit. That inside kick inside the corridor generally has to go through some opposition players, and they've got to the other side of the ground, changing the angle.
Homsch. Good lead up from White.
Hold there, Cameron.
Had Ryder inside, he waited, delivers.
That's the kick. That draws Sandilands out. He has to man the mark now. He can't get back in the space to block up Butcher and Schultz.
If it's on Westhoff's a bit of a mismatch in height at least.
Broadbent tried to hit Westhoff because of that. Rolls it back out. Homsch, Butcher and Ebert looked at each other. White can kick a long ball, keeps it low, and gets it through. Perfect start, Port Adelaide.
Well, they've worked that ball pretty easily from one end of the ground to the other. Ross Lyon would be concerned about that. Weren't able to get the ball back in many ways. Didn't have that many opportunities. Here was one, and it was fluff, but it was Westhoff that got the ball clear. And Matt White, who's been a great pickup, gets it and delivers it. Didn't hit it absolutely sweetly, but it floated nicely. There's a slight breeze advantaging that end of the ground, and that got on the end.
Coming off the best season of his career, 22 games last year, Matt White. Back in the middle. Sandlin stood there. Ryder rose early. Wingard now on, started on the bench.
Well, there's Matty Pavlich in there making the smother already. Pushed himself into that centre bounce.
Extra player in defence, Port.
And they'll need it here. Pollack, gang tackled. Main drags him down. Ballantyne to Clark. He's got the runner. Main put it too far out in front, and Hartlett content to let that
It was a
roll
good
out.
kick in the end, I think, Jared, because the Hartlett had worked right back. So he goes long, it's an intercept mark, Port Adelaide, away they go. They respond. So they kick into the pocket, create the stoppage. It was smart play.
It's great running by Hartlett, though, to get down and play that wicket-keeper role.
Boak to Gray, to Polak, slick hands, Broadbent, and now Jonas. And now Westhoff.
Great kick.
This is the problem. We just saw those numbers in the lab there. You can see it's 15-3 uncontested marks at the moment. They just can't defend Port on the fast break.
Boak.
Play on. Me.
Hartlett.
Hold there, Zach. Play on.
Great confidence in their kicking skills. They hit targets and they're hitting them better than the opposition at the moment.
Carlisle to Gray, to Broadbent, about to be caught. Back to Robbie Gray, little fumble. Schultz gets a touch. Broadbent, and now the lead comes. It's long. Wingard playing out a full forward, gets nudged under it. Clancy Pearce, a couple to beat for Clancy. He'll take that.
Got away with it. It's one of the strange elements of the game, Jono. You handball the ball 1 metre one side of the post, it's a kick out. You do it the other way, it's a ball in.
And there's the poor delivery. So Port Adelaide Juice has been better than Fremantle early.
In fact, it's not a ball in, it's a deliberate, and you get a free kick against.
Spur might be in some trouble. Yep.
The Main's in some trouble down here as well, boys. He's getting some work done. That left ankle taken from the ground immediately as he twisted on that last tackling contest in the forward 50. So their prime pressure player on the pine at the moment.
McFarlane takes the mark. Danger. Barlow. Jumped on by Homch and then rolled last second. Sheridan to Duffield. Bounce eluded Pav. Trengove read it well. Wingard again over his head. Johnson. He's had a limited preparation, Chad Wingard, pre-season of course. Hill. And just off the bench Mundy.
And he's going to get it, Lane. You've picked it.
And he can go here. Port Adelaide weren't ready for that. Ross Lyon, not sure it was deliberate, but it worked. Pavlich. Barlow. Ballantyne.
You've got to hit those targets. That was too tough.
Might still be good enough. Ballantyne also coming off a limited preparation. Calf injury in the NAB challenge. Trengove. Good hassling. Barlow gets in there hard. Winds. Flicks it. Homch. Impey gets a touch.
Smart kick. The pressure out there looks enormous.
There's also great positioning from Hartlett, giving them an outlet player.
Quality game at the moment. Wines. Finals-like game, but these two are finals teams from last year and the year before, and of course you could argue they're the main challengers to Hawthorn this season again. Paddy Ryder floats in nicely.
We saw the effective disposals up to 88% now by foot.
It's a big issue, isn't it? It's the big difference between the two sides.
For Port Adelaide, and they've had 23 more disposals as well.
Oh, you got that, the push.
Plus 14 marks at the moment, 22-8. This is clinical. This is actual training stuff on the way out here. Ross Lyon will be disappointed. He hasn't been able to lock that ball in his forward half, and that's the Fremantle game.
They keep giving it back though, Kingy. That's the problem. Their skills under pressure. They're not handling the heat. To coin a phrase from the Port Adelaide coach.
Yeah, and it is about 28 degrees out there, Impey. I don't know what heat you mean, Jared. Finals heat. Polak. At Schultz, short, he goes wider to Ebert, who's got some space to work. Boak leads short, he goes to the pocket to Butcher. Not quite.
Well, the kick was to Boak, I would have thought. Then there's the easy 15-metre chip. Boak had 2 metres on his direct opponent. Would have been an easy set shot for Port Adelaide.
Westhoff was the man he went for in the end. Butcher still playing out of the goal square. And he'll probably do this ruck con. No, he stays down and Trengove does it. Nancy Pearce.
1 on 3, 1 on 4, 2 on 5.
Did well. Need. Broadbent. Homch.
Their width is fantastic, Port Adelaide. You mentioned just having the outlet player for that quick kick when the pressure comes from Fremantle.
Need caught. Home advantage. Now Ballantyne's ahead of the ball. He's going to stroll all the way home here, Hayden Ballantyne. Hobbs chases. Ball sits. Ballantyne takes time, and there it is. First goal of the season to Fremantle. And it was stylish.
The old counter-punch, Jono. It's exciting. And Ballantyne has had limited preparation, as you have said. He would have been desperate to keep going and dribble it across the line, but I think he was running out of petrol tickets. And fortunately for him and for the Dockers, he got one across the line between the big uprights.
Mundy with the turnover, right at centre-half back for Fremantle, and that's the slingshot right there. All forwards are up because of what Port Adelaide's produced, but they got that one over the back.
Mistakes are just going to be absolutely punished here. We saw that just one mistake from Port Adelaide, an errant handball, and a goal resulted.
Oh, Wingard rode that bump and tackle from Barlow. Sandlands. Hill. Mundy.
Good vision.
Barlow. Feeds it wide. Johnson, well, it was behind him, but he'd go one-handed. Sutcliffe.
Still sloppy though, Dwayne. It's got to be out in front. It's got to be the professional footballer's got to hit those handballs and hit the target.
Barlow sits it up. Walters might have to go here. Jonas, front spot.
No, that wasn't Michael Barlow's best kick. Didn't advantage his club in any way.
Hartlett. Paddy Ryder. Wearing the number 4. Brent Renoff sold number 4. With a few to wear it. Gavin Wanganeen, of course, one of those at Port Adelaide have donned the 4. Pittard. Oh, a little fumble, but it works for Westhoff. Schultz. 2 to beat. Used his body. Umpire said it was okay, and it stayed in. He rolls it to the top of the square. No one home. It did roll out. David King.
Just had a look at Hayden Ballantyne, just his work rate, his want to get involved in contested possession, puts a big block on here. Not sure that's his role in the team, Hayden. But from that moment, he bounced up and got straight back involved in the play and found himself forward of centre. That's terrific work rate from the young man.
Plenty of players back for Fremantle, and Johnson does the ruck work. Sandlands wasn't going for it, and Wingard has the shot.
Interesting ruck scenario there. They had Clark come up, they had Sandlands there. Clark came up as the extra, in fact it was Johnson, and he hit it to a dangerous spot, not to their man, but to Port Adelaide's man.
I think that'd be outside the team structure that they were trying to implement for a D50 stoppage, no doubt. I think it was just a rush of blood. Third man up, shallow throw in.
Trengoven, Clark tie up. Mundy hassled. Daniel Pearce caught. Through some legs.
Mine, thank you.
Fife has pushed forward, having a bit of a spell through the middle of the ground. Ballantyne's been pushed up to this stoppage.
High contact, Fremantle,
Sandlands free.
Kane Corns continues to run with Stephen Hill. He's the unlucky one, Jono.
Just having a look at the other matchup, Jared, in the midfield, you've got Pearce going with Boak. He's getting a lot of support. There's a lot of heavy body work going on here. They're putting a lot of time into checking Boak every time he wants to run.
It's a big matchup. It's a big matchup, Hill and Corns. You're spot, because what Kane Corns does, he finds the footy, he gets off at the right time to help his team in an attacking nature.
No Ryan Crowley to run with Travis Boak today, of course. Barlow. Clark will rise. Good hands.
That's a good sign. That's what the Dockers need. They need another avenue of attack who can be dangerous in the air.
And Fife's dangerous in the air too. He's up and he's got good hands.
So they needed the transition mark to get it down to the one-on-one king of footy. Preeminent midfielder. Where do you rank him as a forward, Kingy?
Well, he's hard to beat one-on-one, Jared. We showed his one-on-one numbers. He's the best midfielder at marking the ball in the forward 50 in the competition, and he's just showing you exactly why. It's impossible to stop this guy.
Arguably the best player in the competition, bar one thing that holds him back. What would that be?
Might be his kicking, but he gets that much of it that you have to have a look at the collective.
Yep.
But their goals that just have to go through. He knows that. He'll be working on it. And it's time to execute.
Broadbent with the kick in to Ryder. Sandlands there. Knocked to the back. Ibbotson. Havlitz to send it back.
Didn't centre that one.
Might be okay, though. Through Walters. Broadbent. Clever. Content. Got away with it.
Well, it was deliberate. The whole world knows it was deliberate. I think the umpires made the right decision.
Clark Sandlands, Tringove and Ryder all there, not really sure who was going to take the ruck contest.
Good get from Wines.
Yeah, Jonas got it from Wines, gave it to Butcher. Good lead up from forward. Had a good start to the game, John Butcher. Late inclusion, no Lobe. Schultz stands under it. And McFarlane's marked that. And that's thrown away. So the umpire let him off because he should have paid him the mark. Fife caught. Umpire lets him off that. No, he doesn't. Took too long.
It was a quick 360 spin. It wasn't even really 360. It was nearly 180 in the end. Yeah. It wasn't a slow one where he went to handball. And
I think it was harsh, John.
Yeah, it was harsh.
You've got to be fair to blokes winning the ball. You've got to give them some time. I don't think he actually saw him handball. He was blindsided in many ways.
He gets away with that last year. New interpretation. He gets it back here. Fife Andy shrugs Ebert but falls. Sheridan. Can he hit a target? Could he go all the way home? Walters. Pittard read it beautifully. Homsch. Little slap down. Ballantyne Impey. That's a good battle. Subin looks up. Squeezes the pass.
Just not hitting targets inside 50 at the moment. The Dockers killing them at the moment.
Jonas tackled. Ball up.
Just going back to the Fife handball, you're spot on, Wayne. Any other era, that would have been play on. If the umpire saw him handball, the question is, Jono, even in this era, in this year, should that have been allowed?
Yeah, because it was quick. It wasn't slow at all. It was in the passage. They're out here.
Port Adelaide off and running. Who does Wingard want? Hasn't got a lot to go to. Need. Well, he's got no one in the square. Could give it back to Wingard. Now they've created the loose man. Need. Still the loose man is White. Can White get there? Just out of his reach. Still trying to spend it wisely. Sizes them up. And this is Duffield.
Well, got away with one there. Port Adelaide have just burnt a goal because they had the 3-on-1 scenario.
Sheridan misses the target. Barlow under some pressure. That's a good option. Squeezed it towards the boundary, out of play.
It was a really poor interchange, guys. Sutcliffe come from the ground. He left Duffield no time to get on. Ross Lyon won't be happy with that. You've got to be better at the little things. There's small margins, these battles. Things like that can cost you goals.
And it's those small margins at the moment. It's only an 8-point game, but at the moment, Port's handling of the skill under pressure just a little bit better.
Ball gets to the back. Plenty of space out the back. Jonas, Main, little nudge to the back.
That's done. Everybody's working too hard to give away an easy turnover by pushing a bloke in the back.
Big crowd in, making some big noise. Jonas. Impey. Great season, his first season, 18 games. And
on the mow line. Thank you.
A fantastic inclusion.
He did. He stood up to some big challenges last year.
We heard the umpire say on the mow line, so they can see the mow lines. Each of them is 5 metres, so no excuse for allowing the 15 metres to be too short.
Boat goes all the way back.
Just having a look at this setup, guys. They're trying to line out, to use a rugby term, and make the ground wider. And anytime they can get a one-on-one, they're challenging Fremantle to defend it. Good enough to do it on that occasion, but they're lining up down the line, right next to the boundary line, and trying to make this a sprint, make it a running battle, and they're winning it at the moment, Port Adelaide.
David Kick said earlier on, they're kicking with a slight breeze, Port Adelaide, and they have a slight lead. Ball back in. Sandlands. I'll do it again.
Well, right now, you can see that there. That's what Kingy's talking about. See the line out from the stoppage with the forwards. They're in one direct line. They've got movement left, movement right to the space created.
Good shimmy from Daniel Pearce. Port with an extra man back. Pittard, they're going to need it. Walters picks his pocket. Sandlands towed away by Tringove. Walters jumped on, free kick. Or Subin thought about playing onto advantage.
Yeah, I think he was gone there, Subin. He did take the advantage. Umpire should have pinged it and given it back to Port Adelaide.
Walters has had a shot. It's got some carry all the way home.
Well, that's a bonus for the Dockers. I think Subin probably took the advantage, Jono, and I reckon they were lucky to get the initial free kick, but you've got to go with the rub of the green. Let's take a look at this first free. Goes to ground, then he comes over the top, so fair enough, umpire. He was taken high. I reckon when you go to ground, though, you just about give away your protection. Right. But this is a great kick. Fantastic conversion. And that's where they've been poor, inside forward 50 kicking.
And if you're wondering where Fremantle can improve this year, just 8 games last year, Michael Walters, 15 goals only.
They've got a few of those stories. Michael Johnson's another one, McFarlane's another one.
And Port Adelaide had a relatively injury-free year last season. Fife. Spur. Ibbotson. Good second effort.
This is the kick. Got to get this one better.
Sheridan.
Straight turnover again.
Pollock. White. Again they spread. Broadbent. He can go if he wants to. Only got Need forward for the long kick. He goes in that direction. Duffield. Need. Ball to the back. Cavalry arrives. Sutcliffe. Fantastic tackle by Need. Tied up. Got away with it. Ibbotson. Duffield. Hammers it wide. Boak.
Not his best kick there, Duffield. He wasn't under enormous pressure and gave it straight back.
And Travis Boak gives it straight back again.
You've got to wait for him to give the signal. You've got to go back to the bucket. You've got to go back to the bucket. Just wait for the signal.
Fremantle wanted to play on quickly. Just getting clarification of the ball from the bucket rule.
Thank you. Thanks, Jake.
Neil.
Move it on. Play on. You, mate.
Clark and Trengove. Front spot, but he spills it. Trengove goes through legs, but to Daniel Pearce. Sheridan. Mundy. Sheridan. And he is the target this time. Ballantyne crashes the pack. Hill keeps it alive. Ballantyne tries to shrug. Pollock gets it out.
Just having a look at the counter-attack game, guys. Jared and Jono, we've got Fremantle come out of the defensive 50 11 times for not one inside 50. Port Adelaide have counter-attacked 8 times from their defensive 50 for 5 inside 50s. That's the game at the moment.
Ballantyne to a 2-on-2. Hartlett got it away from Fife. Pavlich and Fife both there.
That's good vision.
So Barlow, if it sits, can have the shot.
Got
to wait for it. Spur back to Barlow. The 1-2 opens him up. Time to steady from just outside the paint. It's long. 5.
He's a freak. He should have got the easy one.
Play on.
Didn't hold it long enough. Line short, and they dodge a bullet. Pittard.
Did he hold it long enough, Jared?
Well, I turned my back, Jono. I turned my back. I gave him the grab. I still think it was the wrong kick, though. Barlow had him there. He should have hit him up rather than going for the long bomb. He had to do a 360 and get back to make another option.
Rightus. In his back was the call.
Let's take another look.
Look at that. Eyes on the ball. Pure jump.
Oh, you pay that.
It's a mark.
Yeah, you pay that. I know it's slow motion, but
yeah, that's a mark.
He stopped the momentum of the ball, controlled it. Barlow sits it up maybe for Fife again. Can't get the run at it. Boak. Schultz lays the tackle on McFarlane and manufactures some sort of handball. Ballantyne. Hill. Every possession under pressure. Sheridan nicely. Clancy Pearce. Spur. Beeline by Ebert across the line.
Yeah, he did really well there, Ebert. Saw it unfolding, pushed up, controlled his tackle, didn't give away a free kick, and they reset with the stoppage.
1 minute 35 left to quarter time. Arguably the match of the round, this. 2 genuine contenders head to head. Sutcliffe. Ibbotson squeezes it low. Hartlett gets there. Nice collect on the half volley. Broadbent.
That'll be really frustrating, Ross Lyon. They're kicking forward to the centre. Jono Fremantle has been
average at best.
It's been bottom 4 side, not top 4 side.
West off quick to Pollock. Maybe one last chance to roll the dice here, Port Adelaide. To one just off the bench. Walters Again, the move works for them. Oh, well dealt with by Wines. He's a strong body for a kid. Long kick. Butcher's down there. Butcher's got it.
That was a massive don't argue.
He's still, age-wise, young enough to win the NAB Rising Star, Ollie Wines. 50th game today. He's got too many games under his belt to be eligible, but so strong for a young player. Polek, in the meantime, might have the last kick of the quarter.
And capable of going the distance here. Got a little bit of breeze behind him, Kingy.
Yeah, and was practicing torpedoes for the best part of 20 minutes pre-game. Wouldn't be surprised to see one here.
Looks to be holding for a drop punt. And he misses to the near side. Will be lucky to score.
Ollie Wines, just brilliant. That effort down here on Michael Walters was just super. Up to 12 disposals in this first quarter. First game of the year. The young fella's dominating.
Clark, good hands. Siren sounds. Time to catch your breath. Two of the contenders for 2015. Two of the best coaches in the competition. Ross Lyon and Ken Hinkley head to head. And your match of the rounds living up to expectations so far. Port Adelaide with a slight breeze. Lead at quarter time by 4 points. Well, as you'd expect between these two teams, it's tight. Quarter time. Port Adelaide kicked the first 2 goals of the game. Fremantle kicked the last 2 goals of the quarter. Port Adelaide by 4 points at quarter time, and they know each other well. These two teams, as Ross Lyon lays down the law. This is the 3rd time in 4 games Fremantle has played Port Adelaide, so they do know Port Adelaide extremely well.
And right now, I think Port Adelaide, I'll be just talking about the pressure. The pressure's really unwinding Fremantle's game. They're not kicking the ball to targets or accurately inside their forward 50. And they're making some blues. They could have been further in front, in my view, Jono.
Well, they could have been 17-6 in tackles. That's the pressure they've built around the contest, but it's from that. They're getting the 3rd, 4th, 5th number over to that Port Adelaide. Then they create that run and spread. We all know they're making the ground wide, which is then effective as well in terms of if they need to make a quick kick out of pressure situations.
David King's downstairs. He's about to talk to a 3-time premiership champion, former coach Michael Voss.
Vossy, a fast start. How are you seeing it?
Yeah, well, it's not the war room, Kingy, but look, it is a fast start, but I think we want to move the ball a little bit quicker. We're sort of probably getting a lot of uncontested marks, but, our style is about moving the ball fast, get it in, get territory, lock it in and try and hit the scoreboard. We've had plenty of shots on goal, but we haven't been able to capitalise.
A different setup with a slight line-up, sort of a boundary side there, try and make the ground bigger?
Yeah, well, we're pretty content with the length of the ground. There's no problem with that at all, but, there's probably key opportunities where we can go a little bit faster and we're not. So we're pretty happy with our intensity around the footy. Our defence seems to be going okay, but, when we get used to the footy, we want to get more out of it.
Get up there and get organised. See you, mate.
Former Brisbane Lions coach, of course. Media star in his own right. And now assistant coach at Port Adelaide, Michael Voss.
Well, fast footy has been one of the great highlights of the round. We saw the Dogs run over the top of the West Coast Eagles with amazing pressure, built on speed, built on consistency. And at the present time, I think Port Adelaide's pressure just unravelling a little bit Fremantle's game forward of the centre. But the good thing, Jono, for Freo is it's easily fixed. If they can just find a little bit more space, a little bit more width, and a bit more composure, then they can get the score on the board.
That's the key. The composure by foot is critical. They're only going 33% in the forward 50 area, Fremantle. So it's that forward of centre work that they need to lift their percentage in this quarter to give themselves the best shot.
They met in round 23 last year. They met in the semi-final here, of course, and they're meeting again today, these two, head to head. Mundy couldn't get it out.
Mundy.
Number 1 possession getter and tackler last year again for his team. And look at that, on cue to Barlow, to Hill. Pearce. Pavlich on the move. Got a fist on it. Alapato Carlisle thought it was a chance to mark that out of play.
So they've got Pavlich running up the ground. They really are asking Zach Clark to come of age as a player this year. They need him to step up and deliver. He's got his hands on the ball a couple of times already today. He can get into position, but he's now's got to have an influence.
Gray to Ebert. Hartlett to Boak. Bouncing ball, tough ball. Johnson did well, won it. McFarlane, Ibbotson, and now Sheridan can go. Nice to see him start a game. 8 games last year, 5 as the sub. Out there to start the game and delivers beautifully.
Yeah, spot on, Dwayne. That was spot on. He had absolutely nothing to go for when he turned and ran. And Barlow had to work into that space. It was the kick that provided it.
Pavlich, and he may be within range.
Well, Sheridan's given them enormous drive off that half-back line. He's had 13 touches today. And he's running at a pretty reasonable efficiency.
Their all-time great turns 34 at the end of this year.
15 gone.
46 goals, 26 last year from his 22 games.
Got Sandlands down there if it doesn't make the distance.
16th season, and he strikes that pretty well. That'll feed back to perfection. That was a work of art.
Well, that's Fremantle's best passage of play today, Jono, coming off the half-back line. They had Johnson actually win it, the intercept. That's why they desperately needed him around the finals time last year. He gets it out to Sheridan. It was a great kick, and then it finishes up with Matthew Pavlich, and that conversion that's world class.
Oh, it certainly is. 100% by foot in that passage.
Yeah.
No turnovers, no scruffy kicks. Look at the effect that it has.
You're probably right. There's not too many people around the world that could kick a Sheridan that well.
World class, Dwayne. So was the kick from Sheridan as well that set it up.
The bounce wasn't to restart play. They'll have to call that back.
Ross Lyon went straight to Michael Barlow, not happy with a couple of his forward 50 kicks in the first quarter. He might have just won the coach back there in the first couple of minutes of the second.
Well, yeah, he was entitled to. Michael made half a dozen. It wasn't that many. It was 3 or 4 bad ones, and it cost him goals.
Need took on Sheridan, got it too high. In ball with the quick kick. And speaking of within range, Broadbent Hartlett can roost the ball. Thinks about it.
And as the game goes on, Jono, and it evolves and defensive pressure becomes so much more territorial, players that can kick the goals from outside forward 50 are going to be so much more valuable.
That's a mongrel. That's weaved and twisted in the air. Neil. It's a back heel. It would have been a kick if he made contact. Jake Need. Wearing the number 3 this year. Campbell, he sold 3, moved from 32. Looks a little different.
Pretty hot down there now for defenders with much less time to get rid of the ball, Kingy.
It's a tough game now for defenders, given the pressure has risen over the competition. Man on man, tackle pressure now is huge in the forward 50s for most clubs, and there's no grace given by the umpires.
So right now, Fremantle leading for the first time in the game if you just joined us. And they still hold that lead.
Well, that squares up the Nat Fife one. So there's a problem down that end, John. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably just first game nerves.
You're away from home and you're trying to build momentum. That just absolutely kills it. Hartlett the one before, and that was a bigger kick, but it was in range for him. He didn't kick that one great, and that one from Need was just terrible.
Sandlands. Good attack, good reach, good handoff to Hill. Pavlich on the run. Got there. Subin. Now they got Fife over the top. They got Main over the top. Both are there inside 50. Main, can he keep it alive? He does to Fife. The combination, the twist, the shimmy, kept it alive. Might kick the goal, smothered. Might still kick it. There's one of the highlights of the year. That was a ripper.
The issue is where he came from. And he came from right in front of us, Jono, centre wing. He made a beeline to the forward pocket and then got involved in this piece of wizardry.
He was able to lose Trengo, get the metre required, then smart. Good smother by Hobbs, but then keep your feet. Great goal.
And this was on the end of a 150-metre sprint. Great stuff. Champion.
Look at that vision, close up. Fantastic.
They picked the last 4 goals, Fremantle. Port Adelaide on the ropes for the first time in the game. Taking a couple of big punches here. Fife delivering a few of them. Tumbles that towards attacking 50. Ballantyne's down there. Main's down there. Holmes gets there first. Caught. Trengove gets there. Caught. Just gets a handball away to Jonas.
Good pressure and well played, Port Adelaide in the finish.
Impey to Westhoff. Duffield corrals him. Feeds it off to Polak. Short pass. Not 15. Schultz told to go. Pokes it to Gray. Good collect on the run. Caught a little high.
That was an amazing passage of play. It was an awesome pressure from Fremantle, but Port Adelaide were good enough to extract the ball.
Travis Boak. Hope we're enjoying this wherever you're watching around the land. 2 of the class acts of the competition.
Just having a look at this, Dwayne, as they chip the ball around here, they're really working Aaron Sandilands over here. They're trying to get Ryder free at every opportunity, trying to create the mismatch while they're making the ground bigger and wider by pulling slightly offline. It is making Sandilands work.
And they're refusing to kick it long, kicking right in his direction. If anything, they want to bring it across the ground and make him work even more.
Corns will play his 300th game this year as a 32-year-old. That was just 15. Carlisle.
Off his line. Play on!
Westhoff, the everywhere man.
Still, mate.
Trengove.
Play on.
Westhoff, gone. Just caught from behind, got it away.
Yours.
Now the outlet kick towards Impey.
Impey's been sitting there for 5 minutes waiting for it.
Homsch wide, need the target.
This bloke reads the angles better than anybody in the game as a defender. He's already created a couple of goals by intercepting and launching counter-attacks. Pavlich's once started with him, and that time he's got the speed to actually read it better than the forward.
Yeah, he has a huge say in their performances. Don't worry about that, Michael Johnson.
Sandlin's second effort was good. Couldn't get it away. Fife caught. Working in tight. Neal jumped on. And was that 50? Umpire cuts Corn some slack.
Well, he was one of the young players who Ross would have been looking for a lift. Only had 2 possessions in the first quarter. Averaged 28 in the NAB challenge. And was a star here in the second half of last year.
Got to get more from this hit-out advantage. At the moment, Sandilands, they lead the hit-outs 14-4 Fremantle, yet they trail on the clearances. They need to get more dominance from that.
Clark couldn't get it away. Gray does. Jonas, Impey, Westhoff, Hartlett,
Look at
slick
that
hands.
That's great.
Back to Impey. Ebert gets involved.
That's the pure handball stuff you like, Jared.
Butcher's in a 1-on-3. Johnson, one of them, cuts off the angle, taps it to Ibbotson. Content to keep it in. Subin.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jono. Those handball extractions, if you like, is, I think, an area where they've got a little bit more professionalism or dominance over Fremantle. They're just doing it a little bit better, getting it away cleanly from stoppages.
Westhoff, third man up. Wines, caught. Held too long.
That's one of the problems with the game. We haven't got an umpire on that side, and clearly everybody in purple on that side saw him get possession.
Wingard
lost the ball.
Wingard found space in the pocket, and the fans not happy if this ends up in 6 points.
No major impact yet, Chad. Wingard had 4 possessions, just the 1 kick.
Just inside the boundary. Across the face slightly. Paddy Ryder knocks it down. A need from the goal line. That should never have been allowed.
Well, they had things running for them, Fremantle, and yet a couple of mistakes and a little bit of brilliance from a couple of Port Adelaide players has seen them get back 6 points of that lead that they'd built. That would give Ross Lyon a nightmare. The fact that they could get across, that wasn't knocked across the line.
Zach Clark is on the man of the mark, so maybe that's a ploy in itself, but to allow Ryder to get it back to that spot, be very disappointed.
From the restart, Tringove now pinch hitting in the ruck, got Pavlich too high.
Fremantle!
And he thumps it. Main wants to jump. Did from 3 deep. Walters tried to back out of the congestion. Jumped on a little. Polek somehow parks the seas. Gets tripped.
Port Adelaide. Trip.
Carlisle. Now Port Adelaide spread. Get players wide. Force Fremantle to work. Broadbent. Ebert. Impey. And now Wingard can go. He's within range. Time to spend it wisely. He floats it, and Duffield stands under it.
That's the third one now where they've had the opportunity to score. Hartlett need, and now that one from Wingard.
They're doing essentially what Freo did in the first quarter, and that's butcher the ball forward to the centre.
Subin.
Is it stronger, that breeze at ground level? Can you look at the flags on top of the scoreboard? Looks like it may be going a little bit harder.
Polek through his hands. Used his body well on Main though. Gets a possession. Back heel. White. Impey. Wingard. They can't shut him down. Ebert. He's got the runners. Bends it around towards the square. Schultz. McFarlane jumped on him. Got away with it.
Amazing use of handball by Port Adelaide at the present time. It's 99 handballs to 67. They're hitting the targets much better than their opposition, and most of their attacks are built on 2 or 3 consecutive handballs.
So Clark and Paddy Ryder rucking alone without Lobie in his first game for Port Adelaide. Knocks it down to Neil. Caught. To Hill. Scrambles it. Port Adelaide waiting for it. Bounce was kind. Ballantyne. Caught. Dumped. No Pryor. Given ball. Did he have Pryor?
Hold that. Thank
I
you.
think the ball just reached out onto the deck. Whether he's let it go for a split second.
Impey. To Polek.
This is what they're doing well, boys. Just controlling the tempo of the game, controlling the speed. Nothing too erratic.
Boak. She sits that up. That's a long ball. High to the square. Good mark. Getting back, Clark.
It's a great mark. It's a confidence-building mark. If you can take them in the other square at the attacking end of the ground, his contract will have another 0 on it.
Sandlin's had the hard advantage on Broadbent.
He tried everything then, Broadbent, in that contest.
Duffield. Pavlich wants it long, and if Pavlich goes here, Daniel Pearce looks up. Options are plenty. Hits Barlow. Pavlich still running hard. Long kick in front of him, though. A little too far in front. He still collects. Humps tried to shut him down. Handball to Ballantyne. A little untidy. Back towards Pavlich. Slapped down. Subin on 50. Long kick. Just offline. Jonas. Tringove. Oh, he slips Sandlands. Johnson in need. Johnson with the reach on need. When he misses Barlow as well. White. Port Adelaide have some space if they can get it forward. Stolen by Fife. Gives to Pearce. Pokes the pass over Ballantyne's head. Pavlich. Shrug Walters, his own man. Can't work it back enough. Tough ball to mark. And there you go.
Well, fatigue is clearly setting in. Lots of kicks going to ground. Handballs not going to targets, etc. Both clubs, but you don't often see Daniel Pearce miss a target like that.
High pressure, high stakes contest at the moment. Impey Stole that from Ballantyne. I thought it was his. Runs him out.
This is going to be interesting. He gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Take it over.
That breeze has really sprung up, boys, to the right of screen. It's a good 2 or 3 goal breeze at the moment. Interesting 8 minutes to come.
David King on the boundary line for us, the two-time premiership star. Sandland's just protected the ball, drop zone there, and he played on, and it was smothered.
Scored advantage, came towards with a good smother, switched onto it.
Gee, that was almost, sometimes that's a 50.
Well,
there's the free kick, there's the advantage.
Wingard, he gets one. They're making some noise in purple here today. Wingard from the back pocket to Corns. Splendid contest at the moment. Ebert.
Clear out. He's off, mate. He's off. He's off. Play on. Play on.
Westhoff giving the option. Well run.
Right on it.
They have done this very well in this quarter. Port Adelaide into the breeze, just holding possession of the ball, using it well by foot through this area, hitting the shorts up, not wanting to go long to where Sandlands is positioning himself with a long kick down the line.
Ryder back to Westhoff.
Dangerous spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Wingard, 3 to beat here. Fantastic collision between the two, Ballantyne and Wingard. And Wingard bounced up like a rubber ball, got the possession. Schultz on the run. Johnson and Sutcliffe right there. Schultz knows how to play as a win, and he tapped it there. Did he get away with it? No.
Out of bounds on the full.
Okay.
Stay clear, John. Play on.
Mundy. Sandlands. He's got Clark out wide. Clark can get and go. Ton of space. Needs to bounce. Oh, he left it behind. He spun it too early.
He did. He looked up.
Caught by Tringove. Fife. Makes it all okay. Heads wide. Ballantyne. Play for the free. Got it.
Out of jail there. A number of mistakes in a row, but you just have to admire the work rate of Nat Fife. Here's the bump.
Oh, yeah. They say the bump's dead. If you do it correctly, it's still a beautiful thing to watch.
Nat Fife actually saved Fremantle's skin there to run and cover for Zach Clark, who had a fit of the fumbles.
Ballantyne sits it up for the tall Sandlands over his head. Clark's down there. Butcher, Pavlich, Barlow, Daniel Pearce on the left. He's a dead eye on the left.
That's more like the Daniel Pearce we've seen, Jono, over the years. Didn't miss that target. Be interesting to see the handball that came out. It had a lot of shovel about it, but it is a hot game of footy, and the club that can make the least mistakes is going to finish up getting their 4 points, and their valuable 4 points. Here it is. There was a shovel. This one was a good one, and the Michael Barlow will get a rap for the coach on that one. Picked the right option, gave it the left footer, swung around, and thread the eye.
Hunt lost his hat.
He did.
From the restart, Freo chant rings around Domain Stadium. Pollock overruns it. They're hot right now, Freo. Barlow gets it back. Hartlett got back.
Well, they got the dominant Sandlands there, whipping it out the back to Fife. It's still haven't really made much of it. It's been halted at the 50.
7 inside 50s in this quarter. They have scored 4 times, 3 goals once, so they're getting more effect for their entries though.
Good attack from Spur. Hartlett to Tringove.
Something that Hayden Ballantyne down here. He's absolutely spent at the moment. 6 disposals. 3 of them have led to scores. His harassment pressure has been first class, but gee, he's sucking some oxygen down here.
Hasn't played for a couple of weeks. Didn't play in the Waffle last week. Missed the last 2 NAB Challenge games with that calf problem.
Been a good warrior for Port, Brad Ebert.
Absolutely, and knows this ground well. Been outstanding since joining the club. Or should I say rejoining the club. Off hands.
Good hands.
Yeah. Gray to White to Corns. Butcher's got a couple to beat. Got front spot, knocked it down. Might still get it. Good attack from Spur. Got it back to Johnson. He turns it over. Wines caught, dropped it. And then dumped late. Corns fixed it up. Need 50 from goal. Stop, start. The shimmy goes back. Squeeze past to the pocket. McFarlane might take it out. Schultz tries to keep it alive. White can't.
They did well getting back there, McFarlane. He was there about 30 seconds before that ball came in. He got tunnelled to a small degree, but still managed to kill the footy.
Ross Lyon and Ken Hinkley both leading their clubs at the moment in fantastic eras, but both know they need a flag to cap the eras off. Otherwise, these eras get looked back on as massive missed opportunities. And it's now or never for these two clubs.
Hold the meter, 1 metre.
Short throw in. Wines does some ruck work. Barlow takes it back out, and the boundary umpire can do it again with 4:29 left to half time. You just joined us, Fremantle with a breeze in the second term. Port Adelaide without Matthew Lobey, late withdrawal. That's why Butcher is playing one of their emergencies. Clark from behind. Mundy. Barlow.
Stephen Hill. Holding Stephen Hill, free kick.
So free kick to Stephen Hill. Off the ball.
And he'll be kicking into a forward line. The deepest line at the moment is Pavlich, Fife and Walters. Bit of talent there, Jono.
The umpire's got this wrong, Jared. He's been impeded after disposing of the ball. It should be a 50-metre penalty.
Interesting. The king on the spot downstairs, Ibbotson.
Gee, they just can't hit targets at the moment, Free. I mean, that's just a poor kick.
Ebbert's not got a lot to go to. Tries to keep it in. Ibbotson kept it into his detriment, Ebbert. Ibbotson flicks it up. And now it opens up for Fremantle. Subin, because Neil had no one to go to. Subin wide. Polek side by side with Walters. Walters does well, stopped it and rolls it, and Ballantyne's in the spot. Oh, he could have let it go. Hayden Ballantyne could have let that roll.
I think he's entitled to have a go at it, Dwayne. He doesn't know whether it's going to hit the post on that angle or not. That angle suggests it probably does go through for a goal.
You just can't fall over, Jared. That's the
right.
issue.
Hartlett.
He's a genius, so that Walters too. He ought to extract that ball and then ping it from that angle to go. What looked like it was going to go through for goal was genius.
Trengove to Boat, back to Trengove, and they work it to overlap the handball to space. Paddy Ryder.
Oh, it's on down here, boys. It's on.
Central, and boy, is it on. Wingard with some time. Heads to the square, and Ebert's all on his own.
Well, it's a two-goal swing. One missed at the other end of the ground, and that would have taken the lead out to 16 points. Just 3 minutes of play remaining, and all of a sudden, it'll be back to 4.
Port Adelaide play at breakneck speed. Super quick transition. And as Jared said, two-goal swing.
Yeah, this is going to be like this the whole game, I think, Jono. This is a cracking match of footy. It's hard to believe it's round one.
Pressure all over the ground. Kingy mentioned it was on. It literally was on right in front of him on the boundary line. About 4 or 5 players involved. But Port Adelaide, they kept the footy moving and were able to get that overlap play going inside footy, forward 50. Ebert was the one to slide deep to take that uncontested mark.
Everybody takes a breath. It's a bit early in the season to call an 8-point game, but these two teams know how important top 2 is at the end of the home and away. This is massive for their chances to get an early win. A roller to half forward. Clean boulder couple. Barlow. Main. Ballantyne. Couldn't get away and couldn't handball it away. Didn't hit the ball from the palm of his hand.
Now, that was impressive from Wingard because he'd left the ground. Ballantyne actually got him in the air, which means he was going to try and step around. But as soon as he hit the ground again, he was right up, closing the space of Ballantyne.
Port Adelaide have created a loose man on the outer wing again here. Broadbent's the loose, And now Impey's the loose, and now Ebert over the top is also loose. Impey wants to play onto him quickly. Spears the pass instead to Schultz.
Did that beautifully. As you said, Dwayne, they created the loose man expertly, and Schultz gets an easy shot at goal for him.
Well, the play-on creates the hole, doesn't it, Jared? And that's where the vision of all the Freo players would have been to Ebert, who was out the back in space by himself when Impey gets the ball.
Yep.
Therefore, he can turn with a good step, opens up a big hole. Schultz, smart forward, gets into it.
And this is for the lead back. Strikes it nicely. Nobody does it better. Kicking a goal than Jay Schultz.
Just a few self-inflicted wounds at the present time for Fremantle, and they're not born out of a lack of effort. They're born out of enormous effort. But Ballantyne goes to ground. Ballantyne goes to ground twice, in fact, and one was an opportunity to score. The other one was an opportunity to create a score. But what's impressive is the way Port Adelaide punish you. They create the loose man. They're quick with their skills, kicking the ball much, much better than Freo at the moment and hitting targets.
Kicked 66-26 last year at 72%. And the ball up. Flick down again. Wingard again. Ebert. Port Adelaide running hard late in this term. They've kicked the last two. Good tackle. Wraps up Duffield. Holds it in 1 minute left.
Sometimes kicking efficiency stats can be skewed a little bit, Jono, depending on how short you go. And Port Adelaide have been going relatively short. But at the moment, it's 78% to 64%. And our eyes tell us that Port Adelaide are doing better taking the ball inside their forward 50, hitting up those options.
Paddy Ryder. Butcher's down there, Westos down there, neither get near it really, and it's plucked from the front by Spur. That's a good, strong grab with 46 seconds left.
The fence has been really good, Port Fremantle's. They've intercepted particularly well, set up a lot of opportunities. It's forward to the centre that they'll be hoping will not be addressed at half-time.
Still a late chance here for Fremantle. 30 seconds and counting. Pearce to Pearce. Ibbotson smother. Fantastic smother at that. Keeps it in the area. Pearce still on the left. Pavlich. Broadbent gets back. They put the spare man back and he paddles that out.
So a chance here, Fremantle. Will they try a trick here, Jared? Flick one over the back. Ballantyne, Walters up around the stoppage. Even look out for a Mundy or a Barlow to have an impact here.
Big pack around it. Pavlich tries to get it out. Caught. Robbie Gray just bangs it long. Seconds tick down. Good bounce for Port Adelaide. Had to wait for it. Neil, last kick. Siren sounds. It's setting a benchmark this game for the season. These two teams are contenders. And right now they're playing the kind of football that will make a few other teams in the competition stand up and take notice again.
Hasn't opened up yet, but the work rate is absolutely phenomenal. David King.
Down here with Matty Pavlich. Matty, what's going through your mind?
Round one, helter-skelter. Just trying to get organised, you know. AFL game round one, it's just lickety-split the whole time, so as leader, you're just trying to make things happen, make sure you're communicating, influencing.
They make you work hard, Port, don't they?
Yeah, what do you think? We make them work pretty hard as well. So it's a good game of footy. What is it? It's all even, so it's a great game. I'm sure the fans will enjoy it at home.
Put on a great display, mate. Go get them.
Matthew Pavlich, like a few players, just needs to get some oxygen in and reset. These two teams fighting fire with fire in round one. Port Adelaide at half-time by 2 points. Sun fading on a magnificent afternoon here in Perth. 28-29 degree day. Even though the sun's heading down, this one might get a little hotter in the next hour and a half as we head downstairs with Port Adelaide leading by 2 points to David King.
Thanks, Wayne. You look at a couple of players for the Port Adelaide midfield are getting out of control at the moment. Ollie Wines is one who's been tougher than most, but Robbie Gray's the one that really brings the attention to the Fremantle coach's box. He's had 15 disposals in the first half, 5 clearances, 3 centre bounce clearances. Now, Port Adelaide have only won 3 centre bounce clearances so far through the whole game. He's been able to shark the hit-out advantage of Aaron Sandlands in the middle of the ground. He's the spark player at the moment that looks likely to create scores for Port. They need to put time into this man if they're to go on and get the job done in the second half.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Subin was given the job in the second quarter of that half, Jono, to go on to Ollie Wines. He curtailed him to a large degree, but he's going to have to do that into this second half, because if Wines gets off the chain again like he did in the first quarter and a half, then it's going to be very hard to stop.
Well, that's the thing with Ollie Wines. He starts games so well. Last year he averaged 6 disposals in the first quarters alone, and sometimes they blew out like they did this afternoon to 12. So Subin's got a big second half.
And it was the efforts of Wines in the second half of that second semi-final last year that changed the fortunes of that game, and saw Port Adelaide, who were well held in the first half, produce one of their most magnificent victories and get themselves a spot in a preliminary final. Matthew Pavlich has been in reasonable form. The disposal into the forward 50, we've said a number of times, has been less than perfect. They would have discussed that, and they would have discussed the fact that they're just not able to lay a glove on Port Adelaide at the moment in the tackling department. They need to increase their pressure, Freo, and they need to improve their disposals. And I think for Port Adelaide, they've just got to keep on doing what they do best, and that is control the footy.
Well, that's the key. That's what they were able to do in that second quarter into the breeze.
Yep.
So now going with the breeze, will we see a different style? We'll see that fast pace that we saw in that first quarter, where they transitioned quickly, got the ball back into the middle of the ground, and went long and direct to Butcher, to Westhoff, to Schultz, with the smalls in around.
You can see there the flags. They've stiffened up throughout the evening. The wind is favouring right of screen. And that man needs to keep his feet a little bit more. Hayden Ballantyne, his screw-ins or his stops have failed him a couple of times.
Second half underway. Sandlands against Paddy Ryder. Going nowhere. Both teams have held the lead a couple of times. Seesawing contest. Port Adelaide at one stage by 14 points. And then Fremantle by 10 points. Port Adelaide right now by 2. Good attack from Main. Got it to Mundy. Pittard read it well. And he's off. Wingard. Ebert's his target. And Corns is going with him. The 1-2 is on. Works to perfection. Can he get to the pocket to Need?
That's how they play. 3 play-ons in a row. Started with Pittard, automatic play-on. Out to Wingard, automatic play-on. To Ebert, automatic play-on. And this is the result. Everyone just reads the quick movement.
Thank you, Max here.
Already kicked one. Jake Need.
Getting some advice in the background.
Not sure he'll take all of it. Oh, he goes for the centering kick. Westhoff!
Now that is a centering kick. That is a great kick, because he knew the man was going to be there. It wasn't a kick and hope. We've seen a lot of it over this first round of 2015, and most of it's been ineffective. This guy was there. He just honoured a lead in many ways.
And sat it on an opponent's head. So from directly out, the ideal start, and he's missed. Almost worth a goal for Fremantle, that miss. Johnson took on Need, kicks to Sandlands. Clark thrown out of it. Saw a 2-goal turnaround in Port Adelaide's favour in the second term. And Fremantle make the most of Port Adelaide's miss there. Short to Barlow. Pavlich down the line. Doesn't go for it. Main does. Good spoil. A little bit of Jonas's ear and a lot of Sheeran.
Little lift out of Chris Main. We know he's built his career on defensive elements, but he's also a really good shot at goals. He's got to get the ball in his hands.
He didn't kick a lot of goals last year, just 13 goals playing further upfield, but he's resting forward at the moment. Gee, throw it in too short. You don't hear that called very often.
It's not
How do you decide whether to bring it back or not?
We also saw the ball bend in the wind. It is starting to really blow out there, obviously, Kingy.
There's a bit happening down here. There's a swirling breeze, Jared. It's an awkward breeze to read at this stage. I don't think it's favouring either end in this third term.
5 got it from Sheridan. Barlow. Pavlich is inside 50. Johnson sees the lead. It's from Hill instead. Goes central and Jonas cuts it off.
It's still killing them. That kick inside forward 50 has killed them today.
Olek got there for Pittard's kick. And again, they take it on. Down the middle. Wines. Turns and goes. Carlisle gets and goes. Pittard's on the run. They spread wide. Ebert and Fife. Fife almost marked it. Ebert kept his feet. Stolen back. Spur. Johnson. Fremantle's ball. Free kick for too high to Spur, and that is almost 50. Crowd wanted it.
Good decision from the umpire. Could have got sucked in, but Jake Need didn't do it deliberately.
Spur runs half back. Pumps a long bomb. Paddy Ryder up. One hand, couldn't collect it.
Well, just the advice a little bit early on. Jakey Need is the man in the background. He's teach him young here on how to give a spray.
They do. Just a little bit of a lesson on the local language.
Yes. Interesting hold of the ball as well.
That young kid's first word's going to be Miss Duffield to Fife.
Chewy on your boot.
Pavlich inside 50, couldn't get there for the mark attempt, gets there for the bounce. Sees the options, Daniel Pearce. Well and truly within range.
Brilliant play from Pavlich. He was 3 deep. He forced his way inside the contest and didn't go for the instantaneous handball that's killing a number of Fremantle attacking moves. He went with a kick and put some pressure on Daniel Pearce to do what he did in the second term, kick a goal.
The first goal of the second half for the lead back for Fremantle. From the paint. Left foot kick is superb.
And they get back the lead, Jono. This time it was the reverse of that second term. Westhoff missed one at that end of the ground, and very quickly the Dockers go forward. And magnificently set up by the skipper. Pearce doesn't let him down.
Yeah, great team goal here, Jared. And I loved Pearce's composure with his set shot. He was strong with his routine, came through the footy from 50, and that's what I like. He likes kicking, having shots from this far out, 50 out, where he can come through the ball with some good momentum.
I reckon he'd be getting a nice old pump off from the coach.
Ryder into Sandlin. Sandlin's with a flick back. Just missed Fife. Boak. Hands and knees are shuffled out, and Jonas picked their pocket. Polek through the traffic. Wines. Squeezes it wide. Everton should get there. Boak tracks him down. Duffield. Johnson. Barlow. He missed him with the pass again. Carlisle to Polek. The 1-2 doesn't work. The 1-2-3 almost does. Robbie Gray. Ebert had Butcher on, gave it to Wines, back to Ebert, goes for goal, and across the face. Straight down the middle. Ibbotson. Spur. Neal. Sandlands. Ryder with him, got a palm on it, knocked it down. Fife about to pounce. To Hill. Carlisle knew he was going to get it. Valentine slick hands. Fife got it from Neal, gave it to Spur, gives it to Duffield. Heads wide. Clark.
Better team play. We mentioned the last goals on the back of good team play. Good setup here again.
They've raised their level. Subin played for the free, didn't suck it. Jonas just takes that to the line.
Lockie Neal was the other one you're asking for. A lift from Jared. Now up to the 13 disposals.
Yeah, there's a bit of grappling there, but the umpire, perhaps the fact that he went to ground gave the umpire reason not to blow the whistle.
Sandlin's front spot. Corns. Pollock. Arms freak, just shrugged it high.
Starting to have an impact now, Aaron Sandilands. He's starting to have an impact with his physicality. He's starting to bully a couple out of them at the moment. They need him to be a physical presence in that forward 50.
Schultz worked hard to get to half-back as the lead-up player, and now they're out. Impey can get and run. He's got a couple of one-on-ones, or he can go for goal. Took on Clancy Pearce. Caught. Plenty of time. Too much time. You get less time this year.
If you're going to bounce the ball, you've got to make sure it comes straight back.
Barlow says, let's settle it down for a second, boys. Now he sees Mundy.
And they've got the 2-on-1, the overlap. Johnson on the charge.
So Sutcliffe to Johnson. Gets past Broadbent. Heads wide. Neal to Subin. Just couldn't hit his target. Neal again. Bounce pass to Main. Taken out. Could have done better there.
Great chase by Clancy Pearce. That's the sort of stuff that lifts your teammates. Impey looked at him, was going to take him on. If the bounce come back, maybe he did. But great pressure to build there from behind. Run down tackle.
Mundy just couldn't break free. Holmes, that's a throw. Crowd saw it. Everyone saw it. Umpires didn't see it.
Well, he was under pressure, but from this distance, it didn't look like he got a clean getaway.
Fremantle by 2.
Fife is the main target, deep in the square.
Wines. Off a body, out of play.
But only temporarily, because now he leaves that to Pavlich and he's coming up to the contest.
Trengove and Clark. Pollock third man up. And Pollock gets it out. Corns didn't look 15. Westhoff got one to the ear. Umpire had an out there. He called it high, didn't call it a mark. Spur.
A couple of good grabs this afternoon. Lee Spur, they're critical in today's game. Intercept marks defensively. Really does set the side up.
Ballantyne wide to Fife.
Saw someone yesterday take to an enormous level in round 1, Jeremy McGovern.
How good was he?
Incredible.
Move it on! Play on!
Player down behind, play for Fremantle. It's Main. On his hands and knees. We'll keep an eye on it. He's just gone down. Ballantyne's just put Boak down. It's on behind play. We'll keep an eye on that.
On the back edge of the centre square.
They've targeted Boak today. There's no doubt about that. He's the man in the gun. Every time he walks past a Fremantle player, there's physicality, and that's what these big games are all about.
Get that, mate?
Clancy Pearce for the job, not Ryan Crowley, of course. Westhoff doing some ruck work, front spot on Clark. Daniel Pearce has kicked a couple. Duffield to half forward. Walters jumped early. Pittard. Broadbent. Stolen. Walters. We had the handball option. He didn't want anything but the goals. And they've celebrated a little too early.
It's a couple this afternoon from Walters. One in the first quarter where he had a handball opportunity. This one here. He's going. He's off. He's celebrating. Set up the zone.
That's a little embarrassing. Westhoff.
And 50. Justifiable 50. They are so close at the moment, getting the machine going and humming Freo, but it's just every time they look as if they're about to get on a roll, a couple of mistakes just creep in. There's a 50-metre penalty, allows Port to get out of the zone.
Well on top at half-back, though, at the moment. The intercept mark across half-back has been their strength all day today.
Wines.
Hold there! Play on!
In a sense, both teams have another level to go to. As good as this has been. Out of play, ball in.
It's been good today, Mundy.
Schultz just having a word to Wines as well downfield. Got it in a good central position. Went really wide to Robbie Gray. where they had a good line set up as forwards, waiting for Wines to go forward with the ball rather than wide.
Duffield just sprinted to get down in amongst it to give that extra defender that Freo love.
Fife ripped it out of the air, gave it to Spur, and just lands fortuitously on the line. Ball in.
So here's the big advantage. They got the double jumper. They got Sandlands and Zach Clark. He's running away from it, so he won't be come up over the top. But Mundy can. Fife obviously can. They shouldn't need to with the big reach of Sandlands. He should be able to plonk it where he needs it.
Both got a piece of it. Westhoff and Sandlands. Port with the clearance. Wines to Boak. Nudge to the back. That was good. Boak looked up, thought he might deserve a free there for the nudge, and there's the turnover. Broadbent, nice collect, gives it to Carlisle on the run, squeezes the kick outside of the boot, crunch, Ryder can't mark, good spoil again, Spur got back, Ryder hands and knees to Butcher, to Wingard, to goal, and Port Adelaide back in front.
Well, they're preying on every mistake that Fremantle make, and they're giving them plenty of opportunities at the moment. Another intercepted kick. Paddy Ryder was a little bit stiff not to get a free kick. But the kick inside into the corridor, it just came off the shin.
Great second effort from Ryder after copying the whack in the marking contest. At least had numbers around it. What about the trick kick there from Malapati? Carlisle saw Ryder out the corner of his eye.
You're spot on, John. I almost saw him after he dropped the ball and adjusted his leg for the outside of the boot kick. Fife. A mongrel, though. Holmes beelined it, caught, breaks free, gets a handball away. Boak. Robbie Gray. Ebert leads. And now they run. Pittard. Straight down the middle. Overcooked it a little to Wines. McFarlane. Caught. Grubbers one. Matty White squares it up to Wines, little stumble, took the mark, Port Adelaide.
Goes back to Travis Boak at centre-half back, got a high handball and had the handball while in mid-air over to Ollie Wines, who continues to run and push and then receives it inside forward 50 again. He's spent here, Ollie Wines. He needs to take the full 30 seconds, get some breath back, finish off this great play from the power.
Breakneck speed at the moment, Port Adelaide. They've really lifted a gear. Ollie Wines to the near side, just squeezes it home.
Well, Fremantle have had some opportunities to extend the lead, but haven't taken them. Port Adelaide continue to sweat on their mistakes, and they've taken full toll now. There's that
there he is there.
Jumping handball Robbie you Gray. Talked about, and there's Robbie Gray on the end of it. And Pittard is doing a power running. Looks a different player. Looks like he's put on a few kilos. He's had a good game today.
Yeah, it was Robbie Gray at halfback. I thought Ollie Wines, I gave him credit for running the length of the ground, Jenna, but great team play once again from the power.
From the ball up, Fremantle need a response. Freo chant ringing around Domain Stadium, even though Port Adelaide have kicked the last two. The crowd trying to inspire them. Corns hacks it forward. White full of run, takes them on. Speed, good strength, flick on Wingard. Schultz gets there, tries to go off the deck. Duffield jumps on him. Ebert wraps him up. Did he go to ground and jump on it? Umpire says yes.
Time's on it, must knock it out. Clear out 5 metres, Stephen out.
As Ebert got it in him, 55 out. Pokes it to the pocket. Schultz, 3 to beat.
Well read by 5.
Johnson takes some time. Doesn't want to waste it to 5.
Putting themselves under incredible pressure here, Fremantle. They've got them blocked in. They don't want to kick the ball long to a contest, so they're trying to work it through hands. And yet the inner circle of pressure is also extreme for Port at the moment.
Port by 9. Their biggest lead has been 14. McFarlane in the spot. Oh, plays for 50. Got some crowd help to try and get it from the umpire. He's been on the spot umpire Nick Foot the last couple. Under some pressure. Ryder.
Good grab.
Front of Sandlands. No Lobie, of course, if you just joined us. Late withdrawal. Ryder inside. Eben.
I mean, that is just a world-class kick. Going to that sort of pressure. Rebound was going to be a goal the other way, but hit the target.
Wines tried the outside of the boot. And Duffield. Intent to run it through.
Blue dot. John, blue dot straight away.
Port Adelaide with the breeze in this turn, though. Everton, well, he didn't want to go. Had the chance. There was a gap there. And getting out of this congestion's been tough. Clark and Carlisle, and that'll do for Carlisle. They can reset.
That's the difference between these two teams. On counter-attack, Port are prepared to turn and become play-on mad and go at pace and put it to the Fremantle defenders to defend that, whereas Fremantle there, very stationary.
Neither ruckman can get a piece of it. Fife does, caught, dragged down immediately. Walters likewise. Pearce. Gained some valuable metres, but it's just out of play. Free kick, Port. Carlisle's ball.
I think it's good to get Walters up the ground. He's one of the best kicks in the game. And they need the ball in the hands of the blokes who can deliver at the moment. Mundy, Walters, there's not a lot of them that are safe at the present time. Hill's another.
He's a little hurt, Carlisle.
Yeah, I think he's just cramping up.
He's going to have to get this. Homsch, he's going to have to bang it long just to get it out of the area. So he sits it up. Butcher's down there. Pollock waiting for the crumb. Beautiful front and centre. Shrugs it. Got it away. Too long. Play on advantage. Johnson. Touch play on. Horrible play on option. Sheridan makes it okay. Runs half back, but he's got nowhere to go. Spur. Johnson. Here comes the pressure. Short kick misses the target. Sutcliffe can't get there. Throws it up. Threw it up, and the umpire was right on the spot. No. It was a push in the back, the umpire said. Play on advantage. Subin. And they get the break they were after, Fremantle. Subin run down. Good attack, Ballantyne. Can't keep it in.
Yeah, Subin desperate to get on his left. Didn't have the pace. Nobody presented. Great defence by Port Adelaide.
It's just lifted a cog or two in the last 10 minutes. Ryder working to the front. Sandlands gets a clearance of sorts. Smothered. Hill. Pavlich. One-on-one. Not quite. Tringove. Back into the line. That'll do. Clark got a touch on it. Took it out. Not a bad spot for a ball in here. And there is Alapate Carlisle getting some work done. Kingy, is it cramp or just a little more?
No, just cramped, Wayne. He'll be fine. He was tonguing for a bit of oxygen there a couple of moments ago, but just a bit of cramp in the thighs.
He won't be the only one.
I think they need the next goal here, John. They wouldn't want this lead to get out to 16 points.
Especially with on the back of how tight the game has been. It's so difficult.
It's 90 points collectively. 16 points is a big break.
Jonas does well. Schultz, well, he did that deliberately. That was spectacularly good. He had 3 dockers around him, and you can legally knock it out deliberately from that position. Yeah. Sandland's front spot. Perfect palm. Hill. Kick under pressure, though. White dumped. Didn't dispose of it legally. Got away with it. Boak caught. It's hot right now. It's been a 30-degree day and it's getting warmer. Caught. Over it. Dead.
That's the one for me that it's tough. It's the one before that where it was White. I think it was White or Polak who took 3 steps, then got tackled from behind. It was called play on. That's the one where the introduction to the new rule needs to be called for holding the ball. Not that one there.
Pavlich forward, uses his body, got hands to it. Good second effort. Spurs kick touched. Polak. Oh, drives his way through traffic beautifully. Bangs it long. Race on. McFarlane, Robbie Gray. McFarlane gets there first. Oh, the kick was a horror. Sprayed into the back of Butcher. And he gets away with it. Parlow. Duffield.
The Dockers are using a different ball to put. They got a bad ball. because their kicking is just ridiculously bad for a top-class side.
Great attack, Sheridan to Fife. Spears the pass, Pavlich.
Finally, they've hit a target inside forward 50.
You're spot on,
they nearly finished the match almost with McFarlane butchering the ball in defence. Got another lucky break. And the Dockers get a chance to get back, right back into this match.
Deep breath. Get the heart rate down. Had some important ones over time. Matthew Pavlich. 313 games coming into today. He's already kicked one. 630 career goals. Settle in. We've got another quarter and a bit of this quality coming.
Well, there's one bloke out there right now. In fact, there's a couple out there right now who are staving off the ravages of osteoporosis, Kingy, and Matthew Pavlich is the primary one at the present time.
He certainly is, Jared. He's stood the test of time, hasn't he? He's been a wonderful finisher. That just shows the difference. When their class players are getting the ball in the forward half, they look likely to score. Going at 46% by foot in the forward half of the ground is unacceptable for Fremantle.
Neither team's jumped with their sub yet either, so that's an option. Matt de Boer for Fremantle and Angus Monfries, not a bad sub to have for Port Adelaide. Didn't play any NAB Challenge games, Angus Monfries, of course, and for that measure neither did Paddy Ryder. Fremantle hot. Barlow spears it. Pavlich tried to tie up with Hodge. Hodge attacked the ball. Corns, Broadbent. Was that 15?
No, it wasn't. It was only 1.5 mowing strips, Dwayne.
And that was, luckily for Pollock, gets to Gray.
Good call from the ump.
Gee, that's a dangerous kick. And it might not come off.
Fremantle.
Oh, that
Look out for Walters to play on.
Walters.
Go all the way.
Oh, turn around. Subin.
He is just a brilliant kick, this bloke.
Pollock had to turn around. He was watching Subin running with his back to the kicker.
He kicks darts.
Yeah, I know, but if he turned, he would have been able to get in the way. Don't worry about that. I'm not taking anything away from the kick, Jared, because it was a bullet.
I'm glad Subin turned around, because he'd be knocked out if he didn't.
They would have had to use their sub.
15 seconds gone, yep.
And you can hear a pin drop here. This is ultra important. This is for the lead back. And it's against the run of play. 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. Just misses. That was huge.
They're famous for the press. Can they keep it in? Can they get a repeat entry, get another opportunity?
They've owned the last 6 minutes, Fremantle. And they'll come home with a slight breeze. Sandlin's Ryder, Johnson. Sandlin's pushed Ryder out.
Just having a look at time on so far during this game. The inside 50s are 15-8 in favour of Fremantle. Now, we've lauded the Port Adelaide Football Club for their run. But in actual fact, it's been Freo that have had more opportunity. They haven't capitalised. Both have kicked 2 goals too so far throughout the course of this day, late in quarters. But Fremantle running the game out quite well.
And that's a trend that will continue for the 4th quarter. So if it's tight, deep, Kingy, then Fremantle should look to take that advantage maybe late in this game.
Broadbent backtracks for Gray's kick. They want to come to the open side. 1 minute 40 left. Homch. Didn't look 15 either. Trengove paid the mark.
Move it on. Play on. You, mate.
There's that dangerous kick, but this time it comes off. Ebert made the space in the middle. Broadbent's running for him. He goes longer. Corn sits under it. Crunch.
Oh, no, it's good call from the umpire. He controlled it.
Shake to him, thank you.
It's good closing speed from Clancy Pearce. Just good footy all round.
Corn stood his ground well. Broadbent, he can drive this long. He can kick a monster ball. He might size them up from there. Goes to the square. It is long. Butcher. And again, Spur. Brilliant grab. Drifting across the front. Mundy. 45 seconds left. Will they roll the dice or just take the seconds off? I think they know.
Leave it on. Play on. Thanks, boys. Cameron, thanks.
Fife nearly plucked it. Jonas. Almost the turnover. Fife jumped on it. He was jumped on. Still 20 seconds left. Still time enough. Walters rolls it. Pavlic's direction. They can reset with 15 left. Time enough for a clearance. Port Adelaide by 3. They led by 4 at quarter time, by 2 at half time. Ball knocked down. White. Tringo almost caught. Just gets it away. Dangerous. Schultz. 4 seconds left. Port Adelaide get away with it. 3/4 time. Domain Stadium. And this is take no prisoner stuff. It has lived up to all expectations. 4th versus 5th from last year. The 2 genuine premiership contenders that are the main rivals to the Hawks, and they're turning it on. Port Adelaide at the last change by 3 points. Two AFL coaches on the threshold. Ross Lyon, been to a grand final before with Fremantle. And Ken Hinkley almost got there last year to the big dance. This could be the year, but only for one of them. 3/4 time here at Domain Stadium in Perth. And there's been less than a kick in it at every change. 4 points to Port Adelaide at quarter time, 2 points to Port Adelaide at half time. And right now, the margin is 3 points, 7-5 to 7-8. Port Adelaide by less than a kick still.
And it's massive 4 points it's up for grabs. These two sides are going to finish somewhere near the top of the ladder, Jono. It's an 8-point game. I know it's early in the piece, but Ken Hinkley's mantra is going to decide this match. Who can handle the heat will win the match.
Handle the heat by foot, Jared. I think that's the key. Both sides in that 3rd quarter turned it over a number of times.
David King's downstairs.
Well, this game's going to be won and lost by who has composure in the forward half of the ground by foot, as you just touched on then, Brad. Port Adelaide are going at 64% in the forward half. Fremantle a paltry 45, and it's kicks like these that they need more of. There's been too many culprits today that have turned the ball over. They've had 39 inside forward 50 entries for only 4 marks, and that's not simply top 4 AFL standard. The players in person that we're going to talk about are leaders of this football club. They're here because of their skill level. It's guys like Pearce, who's had 7 opportunities for 4 targets hit. You've got Barlow, who's had 7 opportunities for 2 targets hit. Subin's had 6 chances to hit a target in the forward half and only hit 1. And Fife, who hit that last one there that we just showed on vision, has had 5 chances for only 2 targets hit. So between those 4 guys, they've had 25 opportunities to hit a target in the forward 50. And they've only come on the forward half, I should say, and they've only come up with 9 marks. That's the game right now. It's in Fremantle's hands if they're pure forward to centre.
Couldn't have said it any differently, Kingy. That is the only way that Fremantle are going to win this game is if they can execute better going inside forward 50. You can't really change your personnel too much, Jono. You've just got to rely on blokes who get better with their decision making and their execution. Barlow went onto his left foot in the 3rd term, missed a target. Walters probably should have handballed, hit the post. All little key decisions. They created so many opportunities. And Port Adelaide are world masters at rebounding fast and getting goals or putting the opposition under pressure. The bloke whose hands they want the ball in at the moment is Mundy, and they want in Walters' hands.
Impact of the sub 2 in this last quarter. It will be made at some point. Monfries and De Boer still the subs for respective sides, Port Adelaide and Fremantle. So who will have the biggest impact from the subs tonight? Could be critical to this game.
You could easily be watching this year's 2 grand finalists. Paddy Ryder with the flick back. Early clearance, early scores. No need to tell you how important. Good attack from Carlisle. Jonas, Fife.
He's the one too, Carlisle. He was struggling in that third quarter. He spent significant time off the ground with cramp through the calves, through the quads.
Flick back, superb. Sheridan couldn't get it away, though. Paddy Ryder lays the tackle.
I think Ross would be really disappointed as well with a number of those quick kicks out of the centre that they have not had their forwards leading to the ball. They've been beaten by Port Adelaide, and it needs to be addressed.
Good shrug. Neil to Walters, got plenty on it.
Hasn't found his range just yet, but ever dangerous.
Listen to that crowd. It's deafening. Straight down the middle, dangerously. Oh, and Ebert. Superb grab, and now they are out. That's the attacking play. Corns, Jarman Impey all the way from half-back, drives it along. Need gets in front of Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe got a hand to it. Johnson to the boundary. That's his sanctuary. Butcher's right with him. Johnson just got it out.
I think Impey was a bit nervous on the bounce, Jared. He had one in the third quarter. He got run down. He had space and time then to actually put the ball on the deck again, maybe take 2 or 3 bounces.
Love the execution, though. Set plan executed almost superbly.
Ball misses both ruckmen. Down to Robbie Gray in the pocket. Wingard, 2 to beat. Push against Wingard. And the crowd roars again. McFarlane. A little bit of a floater on it. Walters got one to the ear. Play on. Jonas to Polek. Travis Boak. And he thumps it. Butcher and Wingard both forward. Butcher got an arm on it. That was it. And almost gives the free kick away. And now he wraps up.
It's a bit stiff not to get in the back as well. It was a tough call from the ump.
Back in here. Back in here. Hold the meter. Hold the meter.
Sandlin for the reach. Paddy Ryder with him. Good tackle. Wraps up Spur again. Subin. Content to take it to the line. Umpire will ball it up on the line. And normally they bring it in a couple of metres.
Structure. There's their structure, Port Adelaide. Look at the players up, the defenders. There is 3 across the 50. Then they've got the triangle in behind.
Throw it in.
Every player in one half of the ground.
They've got to be clever if they do get possession here, Freo, because they can't hack it long. They're well outnumbered. They've got to run it with hands.
Neil got it up. Subin hacks it clear. Clark. Oh, he let it through his grasp. Homsch caught. Just gets it away in time. Trengove handballs to a one-on-one. Little paddle was good. Fife to Pearce. Can he get it to Pavlich? He can. They're out. Pavlich, no one to go to. Has to go inside if he needs to go to a player. Goes inside in the end. Takes them on. Westhoff's down there. Big float. Everton lands like a cat. Runs inside 50. Bumped on the kick. Impey paddles it to the boundary and he keeps it in.
There was a lunge. Was it a push in the back, Jono?
Hard to say, Jared.
Hill to drive it inside 50 again. Takes them on. Runs the boundary. Centering kick. Oh. Big dive. Walters puts it to grass. Need. Five. They're going to have to treat the crowd for whiplash. This is breakneck speed. One end to the other. Sandlands held it long enough.
Here it is.
This is it, Kingy.
Hands off to Mundy. Port not ready for it, and he drives it wide. It is deafening. AFL football in full glory here, round 1, the main stadium. And you've got the best seat in the house. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. Ebert gets on the end of it. Port Adelaide want to take it on to the open side. Boak. They take it on down the middle. Homsch bombs it. Schultz up. Big fist. Got it to ground. Good attack, Daniel Pearce. Handball missed the target. Stolen by Boak. Gives to Butcher. A wobbler. And McFarlane gets there. Montree's now on. Port have jumped with their sub. We'll update you shortly. Broadbent Pierce.
Alapati off to him.
Alapati Carlisle done for the day. Clark dumped away by Tringo. Ballantyne. Brilliant tackle.
Yeah, it looks like the cramp has got Alapati, and he's been taken from the ground.
Well, they're going to win this game with run, Port, so that really suits them, in my opinion, Jared. The counter-attack of Fremantle Football Club hasn't been pure today, so Carlisle maybe not as big a loss as we think.
Fife. If anyone can, he can. Drag them over the line. Sandlands resting forward. Holmes gets back. Heads for the line. Gets a handle away. Wines.
Oh, left it in.
Rare mistake. Pierce. Mundy. Spears it. Oh, Main puts it to grass. Sutcliffe caught. Back to Mundy. Wines runs him down. Had plenty of time. Got away with it. Pavlich. Didn't strike it well. Ballantyne. Good fly. Sutcliffe. Almost a crumb. Polek. And again, Port Adelaide won't rush it through. Just want to take it on. Jonas could have taken that out. Won't take it out. It sits on its end. Neil. Fife. Stand start from 50. They are spent. And he pumps it out on the full.
It's Mundy. Mundy's the one trying to get Fremantle over the line. He's in this last quarter. Travis Boak is the one for Port Adelaide. He's the one trying to will them across the line.
Here comes the counter-attack, though.
This is a frenzy at the moment. Port Adelaide again find another gear. Even to White. Plenty of space to run. Inboard to Wingard. Hits him lace out. Butcher's inside 50. Westhoff running inside 50. Westhoff. Fife. Good battle. Westhoff with the flick back. Fife keeps his feet. Westhoff goes to ground. Fife wins. Kicks good. Barlow.
That's amazing athleticism and courage. Courage to run by Fife. He was up the other end of the ground trying to kick a goal, and he's charged down into defence.
Good attack, Tringo. Got it to ground. Lays the tackle. Well, if that's not high, it's probably ball. Pulled his jumper over his head. Okay. Had him by the numbers.
They've made the sub here, Fremantle. Chris Main out of the game. De Boer in.
You can believe the hype for both these teams. They are contenders. This has been outstanding. Wines. There's always a lot of hope pre-season, a lot of hope, build up, smoke and mirrors. These two are true.
Ibbotson has dropped off now for Fremantle. They've got him back as the spare. He's the one who can mark it and turn the ball over.
Ryder gets it off. Jonas jumped on. Somehow Need kicks for ground and gets away with it. A rare chance to take a breath. What can Ross Lyon and Ken Hinckley do? Just a slight power chant ringing around Domain at the moment. Travis Boak, good attack. Duffield to Fife. Slick hands. Sandlands. Duffield. Clark. 49 to 50. Port Adelaide's let it every change. Pittard up. Got the fist on it.
And that's a win in some ways for Freo because they've got the tallest bloke on the ground out there. They get a slight advantage. He should get first use of the ball if he can drop it in the hands of one of his teammates. Does he go for the big crunch punch? Hasn't been seen to do it for a while. Doesn't even get there.
Fife. Duffield. Caught by Robbie Gray.
Thank you, boys. That's good footy.
Both these teams right now almost at breaking strain.
Got more around this stoppage, Fremantle.
Clancy Pierce just hacks it forward. Touch play on. Impey stood under it and lost it. Ballantyne flicks it out. Tringo's clever. Hartlett. And again, that roar is deafening. This is phenomenal. Sandlands with the flick back. Need. Ryder. Duffield. Pearce. Everything under pressure. Ebert. Schultz. To Robbie Gray. Touches it on the deck. Doesn't want to turn it over. Back to Schultz. He's got a fresh Monfries forward. Hands off to Boak instead. Half held. Lays the bump. Sutcliffe got in the way. Ball out of play.
They're out on their feet. They're absolutely out on their feet, these players. They've given everything. They've put on a magnificent spectacle. But this is what finals football is, and we're getting it early this year, boys, in round one.
Just 21 weeks to go, Kingy.
Fife again, trying to inspire them. Caught by Polek. No prior opportunity. Somehow Wingard. It's out on the full. No. Just bounced on the line. And every inch counts right now. Players out there not daring to put their hands on their knees and take a breath. De Boer the sub. Crowd want a free for in the bag. It's ball. It's against Subban.
You dived on it. You dived on it. You did.
Ollie Wines.
You dive on the ball. You must come clear. Hold that line.
Goes to ground there. Subban locked in. Players come over the top. Wines ended up with it in his hands.
To push the margin back out to 7 points. Strikes it nicely. That is mesmerising how poised that young man is.
Well, let's see if that one breaks the game open, because whilst it was unfortunate for Subban, it's now on the board. It was a brilliant kick, great conversion. Steely mind. He dead set went on the ball, though. I mean, he's put himself in danger. The umpire was probably given no other option but to pay that free kick. You can't go to ground. Good decision under pressure.
The composure of Ollie Wines, though.
Brilliant.
Started the game really well. 12 possessions in the first quarter. Quiet second quarter with only the 2. He's worked his way back into the game again, back up to 24.
Westhoff into the ruck against Clark now. Pavlich been sent into the middle. Try and get something going. Crowd want a free for jumping on it. Oh, they get it.
Fremantle. You did, Robbie.
Like to look at Pavlich in the middle for this last foray. They've got Walters as the...
Oh, the big push off.
This is the problem. They've got no tool to go to.
Pomsch.
If Pavlich goes in the middle, they've got to get one of their tools down there as the bailout kick, Jono.
And to Port Adelaide keep taking it on. Is there fitness advantage, fact or fiction? We're about to see again if they've got it up their sleeve late in the game. Westhoff thumps it towards the line. Out of play would have been a win for him. It gets there. Ross Lyon barking instructions.
He's reset now. Matty Pavlich has pushed himself back inside forward 50. Zach Clark's pushing up to take the ruck while Sandilands is off the ground.
Clark got there first, down to Mundy. Can he weave some magic? Pavlich is down there. Walters back at the pad. Free kick, Pavlich.
It's a great clearance from Freo. Clark got it to Mundy, and it was no indecision. It was just get it to the top of the square, get it to the dangerous player.
He looks sore, Jared.
He does. He copped a nice knee, I think, Kingy, just to go on with.
Yeah, Broadbent coming back with the flight. You'll see it here, really crashed into Pavlich.
That's a big hit. So he's got to steady himself and thread this one.
Straighten him up. Straighten him up.
To pull it back to a 1-point game.
Lockie, Lockie, Lockie.
Lockie, right out, mate. Right out, Hayden, right out.
And everyone in the stadium here taking some deep breaths here to let out one almighty roar if he kicks this.
It's a long run up.
He got it.
It's been an incredible opening round of footy, Jono. Anybody who saw the West Coast Eagles and Bulldogs game was treated to an absolute epic. I know you saw a classic in Sydney yesterday, Dwayne. The Collingwood game was unbelievably unpredictable late. And right now we've just got two gun sides going head-to-head in just an epic encounter.
And the Freo chant rings around Domain Stadium in Perth. 10 minutes left. Travis Boyd from one captain to the other. Monfries dumped, gone.
Oh, I was just wondering, Jared, if Ross Lyon would be prepared to gamble now and throw McFarlane forward. Get that second tall option out of the goal square and try and win this game. Try and, while you cash in on the dominance around stoppage areas at the moment, try and blow them away.
Pavlich pokes it. Ballantyne used his body. Ebert gets back. It's a 3-on-2. Port Adelaide with the 3. Broadbent.
Jeez, that was hot on Monfries.
Kick.
He had one step.
And again, they're taking it on Port Adelaide. They are not resting. Wingard. Gray. Butcher. He's got Wines running for him. It's a wobbler. And it rolls out of play, and Ollie's not happy.
That last kick, Jared, went to Ballantyne.
Yeah.
If they can find that full-back just to free up McFarlane, that's to a key target.
I hear what you're saying, Kingy, but I think they need another one of him, because right now he's sitting there on Schultz, and the chemistry between him and Johnson has kept them in this match in many ways.
Angus Monfries, crunch. Just on. And just finding the pace of the game.
That was a big hit, sandwiched right there with Hill coming off. De Boer and Hill lucky not to clash heads on that occasion.
Fife slaps it down. The biggest margin of this game has been 14 points. Port held that lead. Fremantle led by 10 points at one stage.
Freo's got the defensive sweepers here. And Fife is just on his own.
And Mundy just does not stop. Barlow. Monfries and De Boer, the two subs, went head-to-head. How about that? Robbie Gray on the run, just out of the reach of Wines. Schultz to Wines, no one to go too long. Bangs it long, there's no one home.
Other side of the ground, it will be the charge of the Light Brigade.
Everton, Pearce, Everton, Mundy, De Boer. Turned his body nicely into Broadbent. Hill. And dangerous.
Great pressure from
Crunch.
Numbers.
Pierced up. Wingard. Corns. Oh, it's getting hotter by the minute. Rolling ball. Neal dropped it. Thrown out of it. Boak. Monfries. Jonas. Port Adelaide peel wide. Westhoff.
This is some pushing and shoving.
McFarlane and Schultz going at it.
And Schultz holds his line here. Front spot. McFarlane right with him. Flicks it back towards Need. Overcooked the flick. Spur. Pearce. Neal. Pearce. Thought about Spur. Goes wide to Fife. Johnson looks up. Fife runs. He kicks it to Barlow instead.
Got to hit a target here, Michael Barlow.
Walters is out.
Walters hasn't been spotted. De Boer. Walters still running. Still hasn't been spotted. Clark's at half forward. Monfries. Clark through his hands. This is breakneck. One end to the other. Hartlett. He pulls up.
Walters is going nuts behind the play, but he wasn't seen. Barlow apologising.
Wingard to Ebert. He's spent. Every player's spent. Sutcliffe runs away. Trips him deliberately. Deliberate trip. He'll cop the fine for that. He's reported. Cop the fine.
He's been reported for tripping. I've reported him for tripping, okay?
Yeah. Worth the $3 grand.
Yeah, it used to be a 50-metre penalty, and there should be, because that has really held them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Mundy.
Got to hit a target.
And it's harder to hit them when you're tired. Can they hit one inside 50? Pavlich down there. Fife at the back. It's a roller. Was it touched?
Look at Walters here, just by himself. And that's so often been the case today. Wrong target, poor execution inside that forward half.
Scores a level.
They'll get another chance though.
Johnson, good half volley, kept it in front but couldn't dispose of it. Need tried to step the ball. Hamill missed the target. Mundy. Fremantle could take the lead back here. De Boer looks up. He's got the runner. Neil!
Unbelievable.
Get out of here! How good's this?
It's killed the season, Jono. There won't be a better finish than this.
There will be, Jared. We know there will be, but this is just magic.
Well, there's plenty of mistakes being made, but you can understand why. The players at the moment have given everything. They're hanging on, and finally some clear head. Lockie Neal straight through the middle on a double turnover. Mundy a star in this last term.
Six minutes left. Sanders down to Fife. De Boer. Barlow puts his head down.
Now got the loose man, Michael Johnson, sitting back behind the ball. You can see him in the back of the screen there versus Pithard at the other end. That'll suit Fremantle.
Ballantyne, good hands. Hill gets it inside 50. Havlich. He was rolled. He didn't have it.
Got a shot. And he's been kicking them out of the middle.
Contested possession in this last quarter. We know how important it is between these two sides. 29-30 now to 22. Contested possession, Fremantle with the edge.
This has been a great battle all night.
He's really grown as a player, has Homsch. But Matthew Pavlich is one of the all-time greats. Fremantle's biggest lead today has been 10 points. Pavlich from 48. That is gold class. For the first time today, Fremantle lead by 2 goals.
Well, David Warner hasn't hit them as well as that all summer, John. Straight out of the middle. 4 for 4 has been, could well be the difference in the finish. It could be the difference. Port Adelaide now with the big challenge. Got to win a centre clearance. Sandlands has been giving them first use. Hasn't turned into lots of goals, but it's taken the heat off.
Ryder. Down to Gray. Bumped on the kick. Hill read it well. He kicks it long.
Looking for the boundary line. Can Clark get it over? Or can Trengove keep it in?
Pavlich does well. Keeps it alive. Tries to take off with it to Clark. They're fighting fire with fire here, Fremantle. They're taking it on. Roller. Back of the pack. Sheridan sat on its end. Handy point perhaps. Handy point perhaps.
What about the bounce, Jono? He was cruel.
Lucky, cruel bounce.
Sheridan was cruel, the man who invented that shape of the ball.
Port Adelaide are famous for their run, lads, but in time on, in this last quarter, they've been well and truly matched by Fremantle.
I think they've nearly been beaten. Sheridan then in the goal square. He ran from half back to get to the goal square. Still, they're running on top of the ground.
They're not done yet. Long kick. Schultz, half forward. McFarlane goes to ground. Schultz collects.
Monfries
spears it to Monfries.
Got to get some players down there.
Goes central. Butcher. Crunch. And Wingard is down. Hill. Gee, got a lot of ball, but he got a lot of player.
Well, he got there, Stephen Hill, and he just lost his composure. Gave away the free kick. Just needed to keep cool in a hot situation.
He's paid some big free kicks, that man, in the
He hasn't
forward.
left anyone die wondering.
Wingard. I don't know how long left. Scoreboard says 26 gone. Keeps it low, drives it home, opens the door.
Wow, great response. All the momentum with Fremantle and the power as they do. They just keep coming. Chad Wingard here gets in behind Butcher. He lost the ball. It's like he just didn't see where it was going to land, Jared. He lost complete sight.
It was a big call on it.
Of the ball.
Was that just incidental contact?
Sorry, I was watching Butcher then.
Big call from the ump. Incidental contact. Bloke attacking the ball.
Here you are allowed to go for the mark at full pace. Mundy breaks free. 7 points the margin. Sheridan. Subin.
Got to be smart because there's no one deep.
Pavlich Homsch. Good tackle on Subin. Rolled him.
Yeah, did a 360. Good call. And great tackle.
Down to 3 minutes. Port Adelaide players spreading. Not quite as hard. 30-degree day here in Perth.
Butcher's on the wing trying to get Johnson out of the danger zone.
Pittard takes them on. That's ball. That's gone. That might be game. Hayden Ballantyne, opportunist.
If they had the energy, the Fremantle players, they'd all get down there to Zach Clark after that chase. It's only the forwards who could celebrate with him. What an effort. Great effort.
Let me go on the trash talk just yet. It's a long season.
There is.
For Michael Walters.
Still time in this game too, don't worry about that.
Oh, was it Pavlich? That was Clark, was it?
It was Clark.
Clark, great run and chase.
Magnificent tackle. Grab the arm.
Back to 13 points from the flick down. A clearance to Fremantle might just about do it. Boaklow wins it. Gets it out. Broadbent. Heads wide. Ebert hunts it down. Travis Boak works hard.
Out of the middle of the ground. They need a result here, the power.
Ebert thumps it long and high. Sandlands got a hand on it. Oh, Robbie Gray spins out of trouble. Flicks up the handball. Westhoff. Fremantle with numbers back. Subin pumps it out, but Port with the numbers behind it. Homsch should get there first, unless it beats him out of play. It doesn't. But the clock keeps ticking. Pittard.
Got the overlap here, Port.
Hartlett. Matty White. Subin tries to shut him down. White shrugs him. Feeds off the handball. Tucked into the pocket. No freedom on free. He's jumped on.
Since he was looking for the free kick, he was got to play the ball, not play to the umpire. He was just turning around looking for the umpire to pay that decision.
Down to 2 minutes. 13 points the margin. Back into play. Sheridan's been good. Pittard. Trengove. Hartlett. And there's the long kick. Butcher's going to rise from 4 deep. Almost plucked it. Mundy.
He's been unbelievable. He's dragged them across the line if they get there.
13 in this quarter.
Travis Boak from the pocket.
Got it.
Oh, boy. This one keeps rising. We're not done yet.
79 seconds to go, and Boak pulls out a classic. And they had control of the ball. Mundy won another clearance. Finished in the hands of the skipper from Port. And from the impossible angle, finds a way through. Dynamic duo on screen. Make a trio.
Oh. That is just great to watch, isn't it?
minute 19 left. 7 points the margin. Clearance and Fremantle should have it. Clark, but there's no one home. It's all Port back there. That works in Port's favour. Gray, Trengove, Gray, still running hard.
Well played.
Daniel Pearce to steal. Can he find a chest? You bet he can. Pavlich can take 30 seconds.
Doesn't need to go forward. Not sure why he has.
Heads to Walters. Used his body well. Seconds as valuable as a score now.
Well, I reckon they had a minute to kill there, John. They could have kicked it to everybody behind the ball. I know it's in the danger zone.
Well, it's just in the... It kicked towards the boundary line. I know it gives them an opportunity, but it's length of the ground now they've got to go. Port Adelaide. Got to back their pressure in here, Fremantle.
Robbie Gray. Hamish Hartlett caught. Got it off to Ebert. Got it off to Polek. Wines still feeding it on. Schultz. Inboard taking on. Boak. Butchers his target. Half forward. Handles Johnson. Free kick. Fremantle are home.
Well, right now, that extra 40% of running has paid dividends. Ken Hinkley knows his fate, at least tonight.
David Mundy, 13. Daniel Pearce, 8. Matty Pavlich, 8 in this last quarter with 2 goals. Big effort from the senior players from Fremantle.
Oh, the footy's just been great. If you're in Melbourne and you can get a ticket to the game tomorrow, Hawthorn and Geelong, don't miss it.
It brings tears to your eyes to see this beautiful game played so magnificently. In amazing spirit by 2 of the best teams in the competition. To set the scene for what should be an outstanding 2015.
The Purple Haze collectively clapping their fans, but they should be their players, but they should be clapping every one of the 44 combatants out there today, John. It was a classic match for round 1.
David King downstairs.
Just grabbed Nate Fife, made 30 plus again today, a big goal. What a fantastic battle.
Surely was. We've had some really tough tussles with Port over the years, and full credit to them, right to the end. Another really good hit out. I thought we really worked through it.
You've had a tough pre-season. Ross has been public in saying he did 40% more running through this pre-season than last. Did you come to the fore today?
Yeah, we're in pretty good nick, but all clubs have pretty good pre-season, so the balls bounced, we're all pretty even. And that showed today. What is it, a goal in it at the end? Really good game. Yeah, I'm really happy with how we performed today.
Pavlich, Mundy, yourself, all come to the fore when required late.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some great leadership at the club and some big players that stand up at big moments, so I thought they all played pretty well today.
Well done, mate. Go and enjoy this one.
Thanks, King. Cheers.
Well, I know Kingy's done an extra 40% over summer. I hope he can make his way to find David Mundy, because Mundy's last quarter was exceptional. And the coach would be absolutely thrilled. He knows he's got a lot of work to do to get the kicking execution better, the decision-making better, but Pavlich was quite superb.
And one of the stars was Hayden Ballantyne today. Look, he didn't have a huge impact on the scoreboard, but he bullocked, he hit bodies hard. He's with David King downstairs.
Well, I was going to David Mundy, but Hayden said, don't worry about the midfielders. Get down where it's showtime down forward, mate. What a game.
Yeah, mate. They won the best sides going around, and it was going to be a struggle. We knew that, but the boys fought as hard as we could, and we got the result, so wrapped.
As a player, what are the key moments that stick in your mind? Is it the Clark chase late? Is it Pav standing under a couple of high balls?
Yeah, that's and also Clancy Pearce running with someone all day, doing the hard yards all day, and then people coming for him. With that chase from a 204-centimetre bloke chasing down a quick player, you know, that's team-lifting stuff, and we love it.
You didn't really trust him to go back and kick the goal, though, did you?
I did, but I struggled to get a kick today, so I thought I'd better take one.
Well done, mate. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, his feet slipped out from underneath him a couple of times. It could have been a 3 or 4 goal game, but it can happen, and he was still there chasing and harassing right up to that last minute, and then he finally got a cheap one. That was a really important one.
Yeah, 40,000 plus people here at Domain Stadium enjoying it, all hanging around. There's fireworks going off, there's plenty of entertainment, and they're all pumped. They're in for a big season, the fans as well.
You can believe the hype about these two. Yeah, there's been a lot of hype around them for a couple of years, but they are of top quality. Port Adelaide led at every change. At one stage, they led by 14 points. Fremantle even though Port Adelaide has a fitness advantage that they've been touting for a couple of years, they were, at the end, the team that had composure and the run under pressure.
I'm not sure the fitness advantage will be still there, Dwayne. A lot of clubs have trained a lot harder, given Port's extreme training of a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And they've got the capacity now to win games on ability and structure and method. Everybody has to dig deep when it really counts. And David King has found another player.
We got down here, Lockie Neal with us, lads. He had a fantastic game, but you kicked that big goal, mate. Run us through what you were thinking as you broke inside 50.
Yeah, I thought I had to kick it. I hadn't done much for the night, so yeah, luckily it went through and the boys carried on from then and we got the job done, so fantastic effort.
What was the conference like? You know that Port are a fast finishing side. We hear a lot about their fitness and their ability to run late in games, but you guys were prepared, weren't you?
Yeah, we knew that back coming in that they're a fast finishing side. They were all of last year, but we had confidence in our pre-season and we spoke about that at three-quarter time. We've done 40% more than any other pre-season, I think, so we were ready to go, and in the last quarter the boys were really good.
Captain was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. He always is. He gives it his all every week, and tonight was no different.
Ross will be smiling tonight, mate. Go and enjoy it while you can.
Thanks, Kenny.
Crowd enjoying this, soaking up the atmosphere. You saw the giveaways, Starlight Foundation game for Fremantle, giving away the wands. There's fireworks, but the fireworks were on the field for 4 quarters. This was incredible. It lived up to all expectations. The home team getting home by 7 points.